They're not office. Please don't. Oh,
and an incoming call. All types of disrespect. You're live.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
That was happening. I'm gonna wait for people to join.
Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Should be mine.
We will see. We're gonna talk about something very important today. Here at Rising Moore's news station. Tuning in with song sell and such and such. How's it feel to be live? She doesn't care.
Feels normal. Feels regular.
Would you like to tell people how much you love them here at Rising Moore's news, international worldwide news broadcast?
I honestly,
Loves every single one.
what is the password?
I want to do shout outs because like yesterday,
Wait, you should shout out 2 people
Password.
for their birthdays.
Or what if they don't want their business out there like that?
Sure they do.
I doubt they want their business out there like that. I wouldn't.
Happy birthday, Anika.
Just name dropping.
Everybody knows who that is.
Name dropping.
We love you.
Name dropper.
We do love you.
Snitching. Snitch.
I can't wait. I hope she gets her what is it called?
Her making food popping.
No, the video stuff going. Google Hangouts, so we can get her on video.
Everybody's been requesting that we do the cookbook, by the way. People have been messaging me today, yeah, after the Thanksgiving.
Yes! I'm ready when you are. I am ready. Stay ready.
This is the most interesting one. This is more information than what most people be offered. All right, peace, everyone. Say peace. Peace.
So there's more information people want.
Peace, everybody.
Islam.
So today, we're going to be talking about banking.
That was my job.
Oh, my bad. Today, why are you leaving then? Today, we're going to be talking about banking. So let's just reference little Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Henry Campbell, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Let's look at banking.
What's your favorite edition?
4th edition. Actually, 4th edition.
We had a discussion in class about this last Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite Black's Law edition. I said mine is between the 4th and the 5th.
5th is pretty lit.
Got the soul.
I like the blue. I like the blue, and it has like a lot of additional information.
Uh-oh. Watch, people are gonna be like, let me get a peek at that mini library.
This isn't even all the book.
I know. That's why I said mini.
And my favorite thing in this book is the preface to the 4th edition. 1, 2, 3. 4th paragraph down. It says a word in the often quoted dictum of Justice Holmes is the skin of a living thought. And the words of statutes and judicial opinions reflect the contemporary thinking of legislators and jurists. I think that's pretty dope. Like literally the words you use reflect basically your mind. I think that's pretty amazing.
How much are these dictionaries?
How much are they right now?
Yeah.
I'll check on
What's the
Amazon.
going price?
I'll check on Amazon. Click.
Somebody's asking about the women's group. Janae, will you tell them to DM me so I can DM me and say I'm looking for information on the women's group?
Oh, women's auxiliary?
Yep, someone's saying they need more info on the women's group.
You should make a women's group email.
Write it in there.
I can't. I have to sign in. I don't have to sign on.
Oh, right now it says Black's Law Dictionary with Pronunciation Guide Deluxe 4th edition hardcover $99.
How can they get? How much can they get it at Rising Moors?
You can get it at Rising Moors for free.
$3.99.
Free $99.
$99.
At least PDF.
Can I use workout plan? Yeah, PDF version.
Yeah, PDF.
Black's Law Dictionary 5th edition is $33. 33 notes on Amazon. I just put the link in the chat. for those of you who don't have the fiat for it, I'm about to send you the link so you can download it off Rise of the Moors. So you can tune in with the peeps. Pow! So if you want to go along with me, go to riseofmoors.org, click on products, click on study material level 1, and then click on Black's Law Dictionary, and then you'll be able to add it to your cart. And I'm about to drop it right in the chat. Wow, fire fingers. So let's look up the definition of the word bank. Exactly. You should have had me here to do that. Bank. Because whenever I say we need a bank, people forget that we used to be wealthy families before the Europeans started cheating our stuff and created this SDQV, their trust to administrate our things for our benefit. So before we were robbed, and before the whole 1933 cash for gold thing, we had our own family trust funds, our own bank. People think that a bank is supposed to give you something. But really, if you look at a bank, the people put stuff in it.
Right, they're supposed to be.
Yes, so that, like, let's say we do a Rise in the Moors bank here, and then we have a smaller branch in Chicago and another branch in Delaware and another branch in California. That's so when we go to those places, we can access our money from the main branch. That's the point of it, to have access to the money you already have in different places. You know what I'm saying? But before before the Europeans took all our things, we had that. That was the point of it. So when I say we need banking, we need family banks first. We need our own money first. Mm-hmm. Then when you get to banking, okay, I'm going to put my stuff here so I have access to it wherever I go. Just like when you have a Citizens Bank card, you can go to any Citizens Bank and get your money, but it's your money. The problem is we're in an unfair market because of what they did in 1933. So it's almost impossible to do anything legitimate in a system that's broken. Okay. This is on page. Excuse me for not looking at the camera. I teach better when I'm looking at a human. Thanks. This is on page 183 of Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. A bench or seat. The bench of justice. The bench or tribunal occupied by the judges. This is bank. The seat of judgment. A court. The full bench. Or full court. The assembly of all the judges of a court. Now remember, well, if the Moors actually go to court, or what they're calling court, you'll see that all the age asks for is, oh, you're making payment? You had to make a payment? That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Continuing, it says, an elevation or mound of earth, especially that which borders the sides of a water course. The land adjacent to a river, that part of a stream which retains the water. So if you look at what I just explained about how a bank is where you put your currency, current, right, your fiat, your money, it's kind of containing that water because the money is based on, or what we call currency is based on the movement or current of water. Mm-hmm. So that's where you get the word bank from, because everything is based on nature. Medu Neter, Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's all based on nature. So if we look at banking from that aspect, we'll get a better understanding as a people of what type of banking we need and the importance that other people participate in what other active Moors are doing, because it only benefits all of us. Like the Prophet said, a lot of our situations are largely economics and they're not as widely talked about as they should be. Mostly because a lot of these so-called people who think that they know what they're talking about don't know what they're talking about. And it's easy to just parrot what people are saying than to actually explain something to someone for the betterment of people. So we can, like a lot of more study Tashri Bey. So it's easy to just mimic and repeat what he's saying than to branch off and talk about other things.
Man, try so you can really evaluate yourself, and this is the purpose of homework, is to independently work on it. Try to explain what you know to someone else.
Try to explain it to yourself.
And try to explain it in your own words and try to relate it to other things.
How about this? You're right.
That's great on how to to evaluate how much you really know and how much you need to study more.
Or try typing it. Because it sounds good in here, but then when you try to put it into words, you're like, wait a minute, that's not how I wanted it to come out. So, and I think that's a great lesson.
If you can't articulate it, then
you don't know it.
Yep. Then you don't understand it. It's not that you don't.
Yeah.
Knowing something and understanding something is two different things. True. A couple of people just got a Black's Law on the website.
Great.
Boom! Fire fingers.
All right, so let's just kind of draw. A bank is basically the mounds of a river, right? The mounds next to a river. So we'll just do this real quick. That would be the mounds. That would be the dirt, and this would be the water contained in that, right? That's what a bank is. We'll add in, a stream right here. Water currency. Stream right there. And another stream right here. And another stream right here. And of course there's land right here containing the river, which is also a bank. Right? And that ebb and flow of water from this stream into this main body of water, to and fro, ebb and flow, back and forth, is the current of the water. That's where we get currency from. It's an exchange of energy. So basically, if we can just call this Rise of the Moors, .org, which is the straw name that we're doing business as, right? Because everyone talks about the 98 EIN and how to do business without it. RiseOfTheMoors.org does not have a 98 EIN, and we're doing commerce, right? So basically, each opening is a positive and a negative, right? The positive is the selling, right? The negative is the buying. Because when people buy something from us, we lose that item, but they gain it. Right? So it works in everyone's interest. So if they got the fiat or whatever, and we got the book, that's one form of currency. Right? Then we got lectures. That's another form of currency, positive and negative. Because it takes energy to do those classes, right?
Yeah.
And people are giving us fiat to buy them. What else we got? Soaps. Right. Another positive and negative. Ebb and flow. What else we got? Shirts. That's another positive and negative. Now, we know basically, in order for a large body of water to be larger, there needs to be more current coming in, right? Or more streams or whatever. So basically what we've been trying to do is get people to help us make our platform bigger. Yeah, help us help them. So IC would stand for independent contractor. So this would basically just be the buying and selling, right? Just people who aren't they're contracting with us, but they don't have contracts with us as an independent contractor, meaning they're not putting anything on the website, right? Now, what we're trying to do with the independent contractor is, let's say this guy got the Fez rocking, Fire Fez, right? He got this brilliant idea to make fiat. But he just needs a platform to sell it on. That's where we come into play. So now what we can do is give this person access, which creates another stream to this person, which is just basically more currency. And based on the energy that we're exchanging, he could then build, or he or she can then build their own bank, and then buy and sell with other people.
Basically, like their family bank and put everybody in their family on.
Yeah. Then we can do it with what? Another person. And this would be the contract that exists between us, right? To make sure that we can do business within the guidelines of this contract, which is talked about in the Quran. Let me just talk about that real quick, because people think that the Quran is just some spooky book. But no, it talks about doing contract with people. Let me just turn to that real quick. Since we're on the topic. What is it, chapter 2 or 4, maybe?
Are there any Moors in the Detroit area?
Let everybody know where you are so you can link up.
Yeah. There's so many people in New York and Bronx and Texas and Florida. Sending out all these packages, and I just desire you all to know each other.
Oh, side note, the Quran uses the word nigger in its proper context, meaning ignorant or ratchet.
Wait, before you read this, hold on.
All right, here. If you go to chapter 2, verse 274 in the Quran and read from there, you'll see that it says, Allah hath permitted trade and forbiddeth usury. All right. Then it talks about, let me see. When you deal with each other in transactions involving future obligations, the word obligation means debt, right? In a fixed period of time, reduce them to writing. What's that? A contract.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says, let a scribe write down faithfully as between the parties. Then it talks about, don't refuse to let someone write down your stuff. Because back in the day, it was only nobility knew how to read and write.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very noble and basically you got high honors if you know how to write. Let him who incurs the liability to dictate. Now you're talking about equity. But let him fear his Lord Allah, meaning be honorable in your contracts, and not diminish all of what he owes. If the party liable is mentally deficient, now we're talking about someone mentally incompetent, right? Or weak or unable himself to dictate, let his guardian dictate faithfully. So now we're talking about wardship. Then it talks about get a witness. It talks about out of your own people, get 2. Right? And if there's not 2 men, get 2 women for a witness. So that if anyone errs, the other can remind them. This is where people say, are we on the same page? Mm-hmm. So if we're doing business with this person and they're not obligating the contract, we go back to the contract.
Yeah.
We go back to the same page. Mm-hmm. Are we on the same page? Yes or no? Mm-hmm. All right. Then it talks about the witness should not refuse when they are called on for evidence. Disdain not to reduce to writing your contract for a future period. So if you're going to do business now, write it now. Don't wait until later, because then you're probably going to think about
sloppy,
exactly. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. It talks about don't scare people into saying things like the witnesses. Like if I sign a contract with her and you're a witness, I'm not going to force you to lie for me, do whatever, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's what's talked about in the Quran, and it literally says a commercial contract right here. And then on the next page, it talks about trust, a trustee, and discharging debt. But this is just a spooky book. Oh my God! Right. And then it also talks about how a lot of these lessons are fundamentals to build your life on, and others are allegorical stories, and it literally says it in this. Mm-hmm. So when people say, "Oh, you think everything in this is true," well, if you do, you obviously don't read it because it tells you not to do that.
apply it to
Right.
your life.
So then, continuing with this, when you get another, that's supposed to be a plus. When we get another independent contractor with a contract, they get to build their own pool again, and then buy and sell with others, right? And this constant, getting more independent contractors to contract with us, all that does is increases our ability to provide more. So this would be an example of now it's not just a small pond, it's a big lake now.
Mm-hmm.
That's commerce. So then based on the amount of fiat that we have here, let's say this person is like, oh, I have this storage place, blah, 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 and we're on good terms with them. Well, let's say this is a family member or whatever, because we're trying to keep this business in the family. And they're in, let's say, Delaware. We can say, okay, Rise & Moores makes this amount of money. We'll have a Rise & Moores bank in Delaware. So now if we're in Delaware, we can access the funds from this there, which there's a bunch of apps, and Moores are so creative that they can make apps for this. They can make this happen. That's basically banking. Only issue is it's a broken system. Any questions? We don't add anything.
If anybody wants to study how this works, study the Medici and how they how they started banking.
Talk about them.
Old Italy.
Well, I'm still studying, so I'm not gonna talk about what I don't know.
Well, what have you found out so far?
That
Dirty.
Yeah, they did a lot of extortion and stealing, but
Killing.
the concept of banking, for Italy, they started there. They established banking. As far as I know, we could probably dig further and find out it was Moors. Yeah.
We've been doing it.
Yeah, because they also worked a lot with Moors.
Of course.
Secretly.
Yeah.
Which means that they weren't the ones to establish.
Yeah. Just like all of the education in Italy, and it all came from the Moors. So.
I'd like to add on how this doesn't just affect the sloppy diagram that I just made.
It's a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece.
Oh, you want to talk about that time? The time. Well, we do this often when we can.
When we talked about this,
Oh my God. About the flow of currency that we have between us.
Yeah, bring it up. Always bring it up.
So.
And then after that, bring up the whole taxi thing that you were talking about, because it's fitting to this.
Oh yeah. So basically, amongst ourselves, we circulate fiat, because that's what we're working with right now. But we have a couple creators around us. We have people that cook food. You want to put your stuff out?
Oh yeah. So we've been getting a lot of requests about the cookbook, and someone actually just reposted my picture on their story for, I guess, some recipes that they love.
Yeah. So if Juju makes food, we spend money there, and then she can spend money with Grecia, who does readings and astrology stuff and protection spells and stuff like that. And then
Moorish magic.
I know. And then Grecia can come and buy one of Jamal's books, and we continue this for as long as we can and circulate amongst ourselves.
Can I throw something in real quick?
Yes.
If you read the Articles of Confederation, that's what the European colonies agreed to do. Only do business with each other.
So to bring up the whole taxi idea, just to relate this to something else so it can make sense. If Jamal started a taxi business and he was driving around Moors in his own car. Well,
want me to draw this while you talk?
So if he's providing transportation to Moors, in his vehicle from point A to point B, right into the wheels
These
fall
are my
off.
Walmart spinners.
Right into the wheels fall off.
That's me driving with spinners. In this case, it would be driving because it's commercial.
Okay. So the wheels fall off.
No, it wasn't never falling off. Put those stable there.
So
We only have
eventually,
two, so.
you know, all the more supporting him, he will be able to buy another vehicle.
This
So
time it's gonna be a Jag, not
Yeah.
a hoopty.
so then he can buy a nicer vehicle.
This
This
is the Jaguar. That's the tail.
Wow.
So
And this time I'm being 38 somebody.
That's a whole
Oh.
house cat on your.
Notice how the rims are bigger.
So whatever money he makes with this
Ching.
this new vehicle,
Invest.
he can reinvest into his business because we're not holding on to it, we're reinvesting, and get a second vehicle and put a cousin
A
on.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
So now my cousin's driving with his whipping.
So
Sit
then
in the back like
so he would have two vehicles at this point, and so on and so forth. You know, reinvesting into your business because more support you, then your business will grow from one hoopty car
To Jaguar.
to luxury cars to
Jaguar.
trucks to, you know, boats, whatever. But that doesn't start and it doesn't continue to grow and get better if Moors don't invest in each other to help each other get to a point where we can have something that we're proud of. So if you keep shutting down your brothers and your sisters that are trying to start something because they're not as good as a European, then how are we ever going to have anything, you know, wonderful of our own if we don't support that process?
Facts. Big old facts. FAX.
Because with us, we were selling things off the email with a banged up, you know, phone camera, and it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And we continue to work on ourselves and keep reinvesting so that we can provide a better quality. So,
This life.
yeah, like this life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also if you're business minded, you have to keep reinvesting. A lot of people want to just create something and then get the money and spend it. You have to reinvest because then it stops that flow.
Exactly. You literally have to use. The way I say it is basically
take what you need to survive and reinvest.
What we've done is we had this product.
Every excuse to draw that.
I know.
We sold it, and then the money that we got, we just put back into product or the idea or the website or whatever.
Yeah, for the most part we try as much as possible to reinvest 100%, and sometimes that takes reinvesting more than what you originally invested. How bad do you want it? Do you believe in your dream? Do you want it to work?
True.
It's you get as much as you put in is what you get out.
True.
And it doesn't always come when you want it, but it'll come if you're consistent.
And for those of you who want your own business, I'm about to put the business plan template that we have on risingmoors.org into the chat.
Ooh.
Also, we have an Loyal Business Owners Board of Directors bylaws and administrative procedure, because when here at Rising Moors, we don't just go off of, well, this is how I feel. We have a contract that we signed that if we're not abiding by that contract, she has a certain position, I have a certain position. We've had to sit down multiple times to talk about, well, you're better at this, so you should be doing that. You're better at this, so you should be doing that. That's something that has to be done on paper. Even anything that we invest in, any fiat, all of that gets logged in. Where our fiat's going, and when we're going to be reimbursed for it.
And we started that day
I'm
one.
I'm gonna add that into the chat as well.
And we started that day one. No arguments, no nothing. Day one, because that's how you do business. So there's no need for us to have ever had any back and forth.
We've been always on the same page.
Always.
We had that contract where both of us go to that page. Okay, this is what we said, not this, and this, because I thought something else. Because there's been times where I said, oh, I thought I was doing this. But then we go to the contract, like, no, this is what you should be doing. Okay, got it.
And even later down the line, if we find out one person is better than the other in something, then we both agree to change the contract, because the contract is going to grow. Yep, it's going to grow as your business grows. So, and all contracts are negotiable.
Big old facts.
So if you're an adult, you should be able to reason with each other.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. But this is when knowing yourself comes into play and being able to listen to what someone is telling you. Like, we said there's a phone camera, but earlier when we started doing business, I'm an Aries, so I like things my way. But that's not how business is done. When you're doing business with someone else, it's a partnership. So your partner's opinion is valid, and you have to listen to it. Because if you don't, they're not gonna be your partner anymore.
And I'm the same way too. I'm very controlling, so that's a learning curve for both of us. But you know, we staying in our higher selves, we reason with each other, and even if it doesn't get resolved in that moment, we're working on it, and we get to a solution together. So that's one of the wonderful experiences that I had doing Rise and More so far.
Yeah, and we'll talk about a topic for hours until we come to a conclusion.
Yeah. With no yelling, no tempers, no
fighting.
No reason for any of that.
No calling you out of your name, no calling me out of my name. It's just how do we? Probably because we're so focused on success. Yes.
Yeah, because how bad do you want it?
But we're also cardinal signs.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Our signs. I'm spring. You're fall. Both of those are transitions. So we're always about change. Let's go forward.
Yeah.
Let's not be stuck in this one position and
that's
I'm over here and you're over there and we're not doing it.
That's something to consider too when you're doing business as astrology. Somebody that's going to balance you out and get the other half of what you might not be thinking
differently.
Yep.
Force you to think differently.
Force growth in you too.
Yes. So I would like to talk about this real quick. This is I was working on a template for car tax. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to read this specific part where I talked about the market. A lot of people would say, "Oh, Moore is just trying to avoid taxes and avoid their responsibility," and which all of that would be valid claims in a legitimate system. So in this writ, I'll just read from right here. Law is a system of rules that are created and established as a guideline for humanity, a set of moral and ethical principles set by those before us to help guide the human race. Government's sole duty is to secure the people's pre-existing rights and liberties. As an example of the power given to Congress to regulate commerce. This regulation of commerce was not only established to protect those who are conducting commerce from torts, injuries, and the like, but also to protect those persons not within the jurisdiction of commercial regulation. And right now I'm about to read stare decisis from the Supreme Court case, Budd versus New York, which was argued November 17th to 18th, 1891, and decided on February 29th, 1892. It states that when one devotes his or her property to use it in to a use in which the public has an interest, commerce, he or she in effect grants the public an interest in that use and must submit to be controlled by the public for the common good, meaning they become subject to commercial regulations to the extent of the interest that they have created, meaning their own liability. That's simple, right? So if you're using that car that I drew for a taxi, that means the public gets to say, well, how come he has needles in the back of his car? And then I have to do something about that because it's public. Because then I have liability. My liability is to not have needles in the back seat, right? Then I talk about how an excise tax is an obligation. Here's where I get a little arrogant on them, right? I said, obviously, if I were obligated to pay taxes and refused, then I would be injuring my community, as it is important for all citizens to pay taxes through their corporate entities to fund government and pay the officials to protect them. That's what government does, right? That's the whole point of taxes, right? But this only works in an equitable system, meaning a fair system. Once the de facto Congress established the Federal Reserve Bank, it began to have the United States Treasury Department print its Federal Reserve notes. The agents therefore removed all equitable, fair, good faith opportunities for anyone to make any real money by dominating the market to an extent that most, if not all, businesses and governmental agencies who depend on the citizens' cooperation in taxes to ensure its function and operation on North American soil only accept private commercial paper, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But since the people cannot pay taxes in gold or silver coin, there's no loss or injury to the people nor the government itself, because the creators of the private commercial paper can print as much as they want, because it's only paper and ink and only has a value to those who believe in it and give a value. Meaning no one's obligated to pay any quote unquote taxes because the system is broken. So if you're accepting paper and it's your paper, if you need to run anything, just print more of your own paper.
Yeah.
That's basically what that's saying, right? Then it's saying, any request in Federal Reserve notes should be made to the Federal Reserve Bank or the United States Treasury Department to allocate enough paper to fund all municipal and state de facto agencies to administer government in the absence of gold and silver coin fairly, justly, and equitably provided by the people participating in fair, honest, and just and equitable trade once the government begins to actually represent them, not unlawfully demand that which would injure them. So since these people of the Federal Reserve print the paper and it's their private paper, they can't ask you for it. So if they want to fund their own de facto government, they should allocate enough funds to do whatever they need to do in the city of Providence, in the city of Cranston, in the state of Rhode Island, in the state of Massachusetts, because it's all private paper. But they're putting the burden on us because we don't know that it's paper. Yeah. So that whole diagram that I showed you about our market is broken in their system. It doesn't work in their system. It can't work unless you contract with them and you be submissive under them and you agree that you're only going to accept their debt notes. Because it always makes it so they have control over you, because no one else is giving you anything else but their paper.
They created a system like where the water supply, and they just got a running faucet on us to just overflow the riverbank.
Yeah, basically. Well, say that again.
So the way they created this system is it's not a flow. They're the bank.
It is a flow though. It's
an overflow for them. Yeah. And then they force us. They basically put a pipeline from us, from our personal bank to them, and then the only way,
and gave us the medium of exchange.
Yeah, the only way for us to get more, to give back into this overflowing bank, is to go run our bucket of water down there and then go back to our house and pour it down the drain so it can go back into the riverbank. Yeah. It's a broken system.
So in simple words, we are the currency. Yes, we are the energy, because current is energy. We're the movement. It's just that note is what we're moving. So that note would be, we would be the body of water. That note would be the boat, and we're moving that boat. And we're docking it in their banks, in their ports. That's why they tax us everywhere we go. Because when you go through tolls, that's a tax. But it's a commercial tax. Because we're doing commerce. Because we have their commercial plates. But then when you read the Constitution, Article 6, it says the Articles of Confederation apply. And then you read the Articles of Confederation, Article 4, it says you can leave and enter any state freely, meaning you don't have to pay taxes because you're not doing commerce. So we're facing multiple problems as Moors. One, they created a monopoly over everything. And they only, when you go to Walmart, Dunkin' Donuts, CVS, Whole Foods, Stop and Shop, when you go anywhere, they're only accepting Federal Reserve notes. Only. That's number one. That's problem number one. Problem number two is you got to deal with problem number one.
Problem number two is if you don't participate in that system, then they have people to force you to participate into the system.
So it's still, they've surrounded problem number one with armed guards.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So how do we break that? We break it by participating in it, because we're still participating in it, because we have no choice but to participate.
Disrupting it.
But yes, in the meantime, if we participate in it, and let's say, Rise and Morning gets a branch out in Delaware. I've been saying Delaware, I don't know why, but Delaware. I say that happens. And then there's the amount of people here, and then whatever amount of people there, those are the same people that's going to protect our commercial interests. So now we have our own guards to protect our stuff. So let's say, we have a shop out in Delaware, and the Delaware Municipal Police are saying, "Oh, you got to shut this place down." So then we say, "All right, they're messing our business. They're messing with our interests, our commerce, our stuff. we all need to go down there to Delaware and say, what are you talking about? Because that's our jurisdiction. Because the way that they have their borders, they're all imaginary. So if we're out here, we still have jurisdiction out in Delaware. It's just we need to know that as a people, and this is just a hypothetical situation for the people to apply anywhere with anything. If we know that, and then we act on it, that's basically where our salvation is. Because if they're knocking on your door at your house, and I'm like, well, that's all the way in a different city. I can't do nothing because the way these borders are set up. When we're the Aboriginal people of the planet,
there's no rules and regulations according to the state in that state.
Well,
one treaty and one constitution for all of the land. So these borders don't exist.
Yeah. But they only exist to an extent of administration of government and representing the people in that area. The issue is a state isn't the state. The state basically is an artificial person. It reflects its people. It's not something that can sue you unless you've injured the people. So once we realize that we are the state,
I say I'm not injured.
Well, once we realize we are the state, we can understand that it is state versus state. It's our people versus their people. And then you talk about Article 3, that's diversity of citizenship, but all of this is basically surrounded by those principles, and if people don't get those principles, we're stuck.
It's hard to let go of the concept of state being land.
It's not though.
No, I know. I'm saying that's where most people's hang up is they just can't get it out of their head because it's been drilled and taught to us. State does not mean land.
Let's go to state in Black's Law Dictionary. A, B, C, D, E, G, H, state. We all do it. State is on page 1578. So if you don't have Black's Law Dictionary, I put the link to the download. I'll put it in again. The pages are different on the PDF document. They're just numbered differently, but you'll see on the actual document, the page number is correct, but when you're scrolling, the page number is wrong. So this is on page 1578, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, which I just put in the chat. State, a people permanently occupying a fixed territory, bound together by common law habits and custom into one body politic, exercising through the medium of an organized government, independent sovereignty and control over all persons and things within its boundaries, capable of making war and peace, and of entering into international relations with other communities. The organization of social life which exercises sovereign power in behalf of the people. The people of a state in their collective capacity, considered as the party wronged by a criminal deed, the public, as in the title of a cause, the state versus AB, as an example. And that's basically it. A group of people bound together by common law. That is the state. That's the people. So, are the Europeans our state?
No.
Is it still around our state?
No.
Now we're talking about the common law principles of no taxation without representation. Our people will say, the white man's killing us, and then they'll tell you, vote in their system to make a change. Obviously, these people don't represent you because they're killing you. So why would you think that you can vote within any of their anything? That's where the Moorish state comes into play. That's where the Moorish Temple of America comes into play, which was supposed to be our regencies to get to that level. Which then that comes in, it said protecting your stuff, right? Then when you go to definition of a jural society, it's basically the same thing. It's a state. It's the people protecting their interests. The problem is we don't have that mentality as a people, like largely. And then the other problem is when we do have that mentality, we don't act on it. We just like to go on Facebook and say, well, I know this stuff. But then all these people do is sit in a room by themselves in a poorly lit room. And they never go to any public venues to allow the people to come in. because they don't want to actually teach anyone. Remember when those when that Lao guy and that Vietnamese guy came in?
Yeah,
They would just hammer me with questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that people would fold in that situation because they're asking me international questions.
Yeah.
Right? That I had to answer them like that. I couldn't. Well, let me study real quick. Nah, this is a real life thing that affects everyone.
Yeah. Even walking down the street, when people see us with the fez on and our shirts, and they stop us and they drill us off with questions.
Yeah. Because
you have to be able to answer them.
And there's a lot
and
of
intelligently.
Yes. There's many like people from other countries that ask us like what's happening. And it makes
in the chat said peace all the way from Central America and Panama.
So peace.
Right?
And I think it's beautiful when people from other countries ask us what's happening here.
Yeah.
Because that's them recognizing, yes, this is your land. What's up with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's people like, who recognizes the Moors? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Someone from Africa is recognizing, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that Liberian judge, we taking pictures with him and all that? Like, what more do you want?
Liberians, Vietnamese, what was the other guy?
He was Laos.
Yeah. And all three of them said we recognize our Moorish heritage.
And they said they know about Noble Drawley, they studied the Moorish Science of America. And they came to the same conclusion. There's not enough people. There's not enough active people in the same conscious,
in
like we have to do something. Yeah.
When we went into that Asian market with Festa, they knew exactly.
Yeah.
Because when I went back, they were like, hi.
And remember that restaurant we went to, that European was like, so what's up with that hat? Oh, it's a Moorish fest. Oh, you're a Moor? Yeah. And then there was some like Spanish music playing, right? He was like, what you know about the Moors? Or you asked him, do you know about the Moors? He was like, yeah, they're probably responsible for this music. A European working at a restaurant, serving us, knows more about Moors than most of these black people. It's crazy. Crazy. Moorish Banking.
They get taught that so that way they can keep the information.
So that they know how to do things like banking on our land and keep us out of it. And we're so stuck on that this system is created, so it is the truth. Not knowing that a system is just a system. Drew Ali established a system based on the same principle that the democracy is founded on. Because the principles don't change. It's just how you administrate that system.
I was just having a conversation with someone about the mentality that we've been raised with and the knowledge that's been kept from us, like basic knowledge, national pride. We don't have that. That's not instilled in us because it's not supposed to be. We're supposed to be divided.
We're supposed to be black and
independent
and proud.
It's insane. So there's like basic concepts that we just struggling to understand.
So I just want to comment on this from Amy Beckworth. Army? Oh yeah, Amy Beckworth. They said that they joined the Moorish Science Temple of America and they don't teach any of this. That's because the temple was infiltrated to slow down the progress of our people. Which what the Europeans do basically is they put someone in charge who thinks like them, so that way it just trickles down. It's like a hive mind. So if the leader of something thinks a certain way, and they put it on the media, this, and this, then their people are gonna think that's that way. That's basically what happened with the Moorish Science Temple of America. There's supreme grand sheiks and sheiks who are supposed to be public servants who aren't being public servants. They're listening to what some sellout said. And since that's all they know, even though some people know the other half, but they're dirty, since that's all they know, they only know that. So then when you hit them with something else and they're in that compromising position,
they're not prepared.
It combats them because they're in that sellout position and they don't want to believe that they're sellouts because they think that they're good people. Which is the problem, because there's a lot of good people who don't know that they're sellouts because they're listening to a sellout who knows they're a sellout. Yeah. So before we get to that person, we have to get through to those people to use your common sense.
But the first thing, human instinct, is to deflect and protect yourself. And
yes, because it's themselves. The problem is they don't know that they've been brainwashed. They don't know it. Because if you have nothing to compare it to, then it's like, well, this is all same thing with the Indians. They know that it's messed up, but until the Moors came around, there was nothing else for them to come to. You know what I mean? So it's just this is just what it is because I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's all that they can cling to is no to protect themselves. They don't want to admit the truth and actually have some growth within themselves. So it's a hard thing to reevaluate what you've been taught your whole life. So all the Moors that have like recognized who they are and got into studying, that's a heavy task, and it's a lot.
But the Quran says Allah never places a burden on anyone that they can't handle. The only problem is, just like it says in the Quran, this one, that the same sun that, or the same water that hardens the whatever it is, the same thing that hardens the clay also boils the egg or whatever.
Yeah.
If you wake up and you see the light, you can just be stuck on it and then lose your mind. Or you can see it, all right, cool, and know where it is at all times. Just make sure you know where it is at all times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get stuck. Don't get so stuck on woke that you become stupid.
Yeah.
You see that too much.
Oh man, I'm ancient and comedic now. I ain't gotta learn nothing. I'm just gonna listen to my inners.
That's also like being stuck in like that angry, because when you first wake up, you're angry because everything is so messed up, and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, there's definitely steps you can take to kind of separate yourself from that life. I mean, you can
be in the world and not of it.
Right. You can defund certain places. You can vote with your fiat and only support Moors.
What helped you guys get out of that angry state faster? Or what helped you out of it to begin with?
You want to go first? What helped me was writing the book. Because then instead of trying to give it to people who didn't want it, because that's what I was doing. I gave you know how many people I gave people these books? I was giving it away. Because I was trying to give it to people so that they can be interested to help do what we're doing, right? And I seen how they treated the books. They just put it under things, put things on top of it, so I took it back. So then I was like, okay, the situation that I'm in with these certain people, it's not going anywhere. Even though I know what I'm saying. And they're listening like, oh yeah, and we go places like, oh yeah, this is the guy. Like what? If you know that, then how come you're not helping me do this thing? So I cut them off by focusing on my book. And once I focused on the book, I was able to just channel all my energy, because anger is just mismanaged energy. And that's what helped me kind of calm down. Like, all right, at least I'm doing something now.
Yeah.
And part of my book, one book idea I had was to explain how basically the reason why people are violent is because it's mismanaged energy. Instead of focusing on this, more science and our own government, they don't know anything, so they're going into the gang side and the violence and the whatever. When you can use those same people, fix their mind, and then they can be our security.
If you think about it, the majority of our people, they work, they go to school, and that's just a cycle that doesn't really go anywhere, and because it's within their system, so they have to find something to occupy themselves otherwise. And the sad part is we don't have very much time and resources to have hobbies, so it creates a restlessness. So unless you're really strong-willed and you're staying in the house to do some video games or listen to music or whatever, you get this buildup of mismanaged energy.
And partly all of it stems from, the lack of knowledge, because the universe is mental, and then the fiat. Because we got all these solar panels, all these wind turbines, all this wind energy and water energy, but they're still charging us for things to keep us in this place of basically mental slavery.
Right, because we can get a wind turbine and have energy for free. We can get solar panels and have energy for free.
We went to Home Depot and he was like, "We'll put solar panels on your house for free,
but it's
free of charge."
Still connected to national grid.
Yeah.
Which tells you they can do it for free. They're just choosing not to. To keep us in the system, like it's not that complicated. It's really not complicated. It's not complicated at all. You're hungry? Okay, I'm gonna make sure you live in a place where you can't grow no food. I'm gonna grow the food and then sell it to you. And you gotta work for my friend to get the money to buy the food. How is that complicated?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of work to do, because
a few people are saying their family thinks they're crazy. Everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about your situation?
Which one?
The situation where you were in a relationship with someone who wasn't waking up and seeing what you were seeing, and how uncomfortable it made you.
Yeah. First of all, I was in a relationship with someone that I shouldn't have been in a relationship with in the first place. But yeah, it drove a wedge because I was growing so much and this person was so stuck and couldn't see the struggle. Also because they didn't grow up in the same life that I did. So they don't understand. They don't see that jail yet. Yeah, it's just if you're in that situation, I'm not saying give up on them. Try and help them see the light. Try your help. I know it sucks, having to deal with your family, but try and at least plant those seeds because eventually, even if it's 10 years later, they will see the things that you're talking about come to light or, be mentioned on the news. And since the news says it, since the TV said it.
You know what helps for our family? Because you had the knowledge and some people listen, some people don't. You can't teach people that don't want to learn. So instead of dwelling on it, we just like, okay, keep it moving and, started doing what we're doing. And now they can't help but ask. Like, what's going on? What's going on? I seen your website. I seen your the YouTube. I seen this and that. I see people coming and there's a lot of people commenting and now more and more our family's interested in what's going on and for those that just turned away. So it's if your family's not listening, don't ruin your relationship with them.
Right. Don't push them.
Yeah, because you can't teach somebody that doesn't want to learn.
Right.
They'll
come to you when the time is right.
Yeah, no. If I say, hey Jamal, you want to learn how to sew dresses? You don't care. So there's nothing that's gonna make you want to listen to me. So just move on, and then eventually when they see what you're doing and how confident you are and how you've changed your life and your ways, then they're gonna jump on.
My problem was and still is that the same people that would complain about, well, how come we have to do this? How come we have to do that? How come we have to pay taxes? How come we have to do this? How come we have to do a license? How come we do that? When you tell those people, they still don't care. So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Complaining means you want something to change, right? If I'm telling you what the change is, why aren't you accepting it? You just want to complain.
There's a level of responsibility that
of course. But here's where the responsibility can be. Since I'm lazy and I don't want to actually do anything, I'll just give you $1 a month to support you in what you're doing.
Yep. And you look out for me. Yep.
What? How hard is that?
Yeah.
Because then you can say, oh, I've been paying dues. These Europeans are coming after my taxes. If we check the record, oh yeah, this person has been paying dues. Let me go help you because you've been helping us. That's government. That's how it should work. Unfortunately, some people just go ahead. Remember that conversation that we had with Seth? When we was talking about the need for the Moorish Temple of America, she said some people just sit back and wait until something's already established. They're the reason why nothing's established.
Yep, because they don't lend a helping hand and participate.
They just want the savior to swoop in and do everything, so then they can be like...
And then in the Quran, it talks about those people who sit in the back, and then when things fail, they blame you. Like, oh, you should have been blah, blah, blah. No, he wasn't helping. What are you doing? Twiddling your thumbs.
That's on you, too.
He wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Now you want to be around when the team won.
Yeah. You seen how a lot of people just want to be on camera with me? Like, what?
Yeah.
This is not what this is about. I have a nephew. I have 2 sisters. I have a grandmother, 2 grandmothers. My mother. It's about them.
It's funny because there's so many people don't want it the way they say they want it. Because
where do we pay dues?
Support riseandmoors.org. That we've never really asked for dues or handouts or anything. Just we want you guys to learn, and we want to continue to learn and grow. And we created things so that we can start a currency and be an example.
We're not just starting a GoFundMe.
It's not a GoFundMe. We created a Moorish business so that we can support.
Oh, you know what would be how you pay dues? Make a product that you would like to sell on our website. So that way your money's making you money.
Yep. Because we want to do business with Moors. We just need Moors to, actually take themselves seriously.
Someone told us to establish dues, and I'll send my notes. If that's what the people are asking us to do,
yeah,
we'll consider it. But we're not gonna do that right now. Someone said create a product, and those in need will support. Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody needs laundry detergent.
Yeah.
Everybody needs. Well, some Europeans don't. Some Moors don't either, because I've seen dudes live out of a suitcase and everything in the laundry. Anyway, everyone needs laundry detergent. Now imagine creating your own organic Moorish laundry that you can sell on a Moorish website that serves the Moors.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate do right there.
That's
putting in dues. You're making something for your people. That's putting in work.
We created the website with other people in mind.
That's really investing.
You're investing your time into your people.
Yeah. Just starting a Moorish business alone, that contributes. That contributes to everyone, to all your people. Because if somebody doesn't start a pizza shop or something, that we own, then we have no place to go to eat pizza.
Exactly. So we gotta go to the thirds. People love when they see us with the festival. I love that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the librarians?
What do you mean?
Librarians and the food.
What do you mean? I'm selling me food?
Yeah, how the food is.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. No. So there's librarians at my job, and they sell food, and the food's crap, but they all love it because it's theirs. So they're gonna keep buying it until it gets better. So they,
go through the struggle with your people.
Yep, go through the struggle.
There's something that we used to say in the military, that misery breeds brotherhood. You don't gotta be miserable. Going through a problem together and accomplishing it breeds that nationhood that we need. The problem is the only struggles we go through is us being in the projects separately. So that's the common thing that binds us. That's it.
You know what's so funny? That's just this conversation here is helping me realize like where people get their national pride from. So say the alleged Jews, they came and they had to build up their own community, right? Their own restaurants, their own housing, everything. They had to band together and stick together to build something. And that struggle that those original people went through, that bred like a national pride. Because when things start looking better, and we
did that.
Yeah, we did that. And then they passed that pride on to their children, children's children. So today, that's where that pride comes from. We have to start that.
You know what our pride is? What they teach us our pride is? While we were slaves.
Yep.
So now we see our ancestors as slaves, so that's all we're going to see. But with this...
No, that's not true.
We brought the Europeans lights.
Scope. Watch.
We taught them how to do commerce. We taught them mathematics, how to add, how to read, how to write, how to bathe, how to cook, how to sew, how to clean.
Yeah.
How to think. Moors did that. Not some black people. Moors did that. That's prideful. Once we know our ancestors did that, now we have to yes, I come from that bloodline. I come from that. The world knows who the Moors are. It's not just a few people. The entire world knows who the Moors are. Everyone knows except for the Moors. It's sick. It's almost like we're living in a dream. We are the people that everyone knows about, but we don't even know who we are. That type of pride is once I learned that, I'm like, no one can stop us.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about too? The children and the family. Even if you can't get to the adults, make sure you are who you are. Like your true self in front of the children, because growing up,
see it.
you're gonna, even if it was 1 time, 2 times, they're gonna see the difference and make sure you have that confidence and that pride in front of them, because that's what they're gonna learn.
Be yourself. That's
Lead by example.
Mhm.
That's it.
I see everything you do.
Yeah, how many
Everything.
how many young Moors in our family, they just want to put the fez on.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
see it.
They automatically, they let me wear that too. Even your sister, she's not even she's not a baby.
Remember she put it on? She was like,
Yeah.
that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, you should.
Mhm.
That's how I felt when I first put it on.
Mhm.
I couldn't wait to buy a fez. Couldn't wait.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't have one, that the experience of living life with one is
I'll put
pretty
the-
amazing.
I'll put the link to the website where I got it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's Moorish, but until I think Cosmo L makes fezzes, but I don't think he has a website, so I don't know what to link. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know his email, I don't know nothing, so I'm just gonna put this website right here.
Use the contract for selling more.
True. How big that idea? So what did we talk about? Let's do a recap. We talked about banking and how basically if we don't have a way to access our own fiat or our own money, we're going to be in the same situation. We talked about how doing business with other people creates that ebb and flow and that commerce, that currency that we actually need to make other things happen. We talked about how it's not just in our benefit, it benefits the people that we're contracting with.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how the system is broken. The actual fiat system in order for us to do business and conduct commerce and stuff like that. We talked about how it's difficult for us to do things alone in our family because we feel ostracized or whatever. Why is he making that noise? Is he asleep?
No, he's
Oh,
not.
this is animals making a weird noise. What else did we talk about? We talked about supporting people in their business enterprises so that we can have things.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Europeans are dominating the market because they're actually doing things together.
Yeah.
And then we talked about how people like to pay dues.
For now, we ask that you support the website and create something and write yourself a business plan. We get a lot of people that come to us with ideas. Be complete.
Come to us with a complete idea.
A product that already exists and something that we can really, because our job is not to develop the business, is to give it a platform to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask the rest of the audience, if you don't create something, support it, because it's not just for us, it's for other people on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can be a part of that currency, and we can help create a current flow towards them so that they can help their community out and people that they personally know.
And here's a link to the business plan again. And here's another link to trust bylaws, basically. So if you want to do business with, and you have a board of directors or whatever you want to call them, uncorporated body politic, administrating whatever business affairs that you have,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you can implement so that you're all on the same page
Mm-hmm.
in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll check out your website right now. I'm scared. If it's trash, I'm going to tell you.
What are they selling?
I don't know. I'll look at it right now. This looks like a
It looks like a nice site.
basic. There's nothing here.
Maybe it's not wood.
Oh, there it is. This
Remember
looks like a basic.
somebody on Facebook,
I'm just looking. Someone doing it.
remember somebody on Facebook trying to sell a product, but they wouldn't tell us what it was.
Yeah.
Let me look too.
Anyone in the chat would like to add anything? It would be great if we could have like a thing where we can see the people.
Google
watching.
Hangouts. We could do it on Google Hangouts.
Do it right now.
No, nobody has it though. Well,
You know.
not nobody has it. one of us needs to get that going. We can actually, after we do this live, you wanna try to do that?
Little hangouts?
Yeah.
How many people can be part of this?
I don't know, but it looks like a mass.
I would love to see the people.
Handcrafted studio workstations.
Oh, we could do that conference call thing that the council court does, because it has video. Someone said, Jamal is a vet. How are you able to update information? Or is it even possible? The prophet said, leave all old business as it is, conduct all new business in your free national name. Here's your answer. Why do we not have a strategy plan of action? That's because Moors don't meet up. And when we do meet up, it's about some BS.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why every time we go live, we ask you guys to shout out where you're from if you want to connect, and even if it's just to study, even if it's just to go to the movies together, even if it's just to know where your fellow Moor is.
True, because we have to meet each other before we get into business.
Yep.
But what I've seen is just all of these conscious people, they meet up and have these conscious meetups, but then they never do anything. Mm-hmm. It's just a meetup, you get information, and then you disperse. Like, why are you doing that?
And they never live life together.
Like, look at Congress, right? They go together, they meet, and they accomplish something. They don't just meet and talk and then leave. Mm-hmm. There's a secretary logging things, who's putting things on the record, and then they implement things. Mm-hmm. Our people we're going to do this conscious community, vegan, woke meetup, and you meet up, and then you leave.
Yeah.
And you don't implement nothing, because there's no Moorish town, there's no Moorish city, there's no Moorish state. It's just we meet up, talk some BS, feel good. Oh yeah, because we don't have enough time to be in the same position that we're in, and for say the same things that we've been saying. We don't have time for that. Yeah. What's your remedy? Oh, see me next week where I do the same thing. Moorish town is a remedy. Mm. But if we can say Moorish town, but then if the Moors don't show up to create this Moorish town, then we're in the same situation that we've been in. That's why we're not making any progress.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. I planned that because I planned it. Truth is, most of our people are not ready. So okay. That's the same person that asked why there's no strategy, and then they said our people aren't ready. So why are you asking? Because if you're putting that energy out there, then that's part of why we're not moving forward. Because you're saying our people aren't ready. So then when you speak to our people, you're thinking they're not ready. So then you never move forward.
Yeah.
Remember, the universe is mental. So if you think our people aren't ready, you're not going to go there. You're not going to do anything because you're not ready. Because you're our people. Mm-hmm. So are we ready? Yes or no? Are you ready?
You know what's
are you ready?
A good thing to do?
No, go back to Africa. We're already in Africa. If you read what the prophet said, this is not to be confused with some back to Africa movement.
If
someone said, Jamal, that was belief you just said and not definite. I don't know what you're saying.
Someone was saying that what you said is
the battery's gonna go soon.
What you're saying is like an idea, not like.
Yeah, the battery just.
They can't hear someone.
We can still hear.
So what are you?
They're saying like what you're saying is almost like religion rhetoric, like you're just.
How?
I didn't say it.
I know. I'm just saying how. What did I say that other people aren't already doing? What I'm saying the Chinese people are doing, because we'll say the Koreans, because if you go downtown to the municipal city of Providence, you'll see the Korean flag. They have their own communities. They have their own stores. They have their own everything. What do? They meet up and they talk about things. So what am I saying? It's not directed at you. What am I saying that's not true that these other people are doing visibly? And if you're talking about the whole conscious community thing, I see these YouTube and Instagram. They're not doing nothing. They're just saying this, and this.
Yeah.
And then they leave. We've been to City Hall. We've been to court. We've seen these people.
A lot of people can say, well, look, a lot of people can be woke and have the conscious knowledge. I'm doing air quotes, but they can't seem to do that. But they don't act upon it. They'll live their life the same way they've been living all the time. They won't keep on anything. They won't change anything about their lifestyle, but we'll talk all of that. Like, what is talking about that going to get you?
Yeah.
Do you feel better about yourself?
They do. Oh, I really said that. Just like the so-called black people that they say, you're racist. And then they go and tell their friends, like, oh, that's girl, when I went to work, I call her racist. But you're going to go back to work and you still work for that person. Or these, here's a good one. Oh, they can see that whatever you're doing with that.
Yeah, I know.
These rappers talk about, oh, I'm a gangster, fuck the law. But then they make sure that they pay taxes on their, that's what they say. They make sure that they pay taxes and they trademark those records that they're producing. So
we've actually met people
I thought you was about it.
that do this. Yeah.
You're saying F the law, but you're paying taxes.
Yeah.
You're saying F the so-called white man and F their system, and they don't represent you, but then you're paying taxes, and then you're voting. What is wrong with you? Fear. Cowards. Cowards are cowardly dog.
Or they think because they know something that they're not participating still in that system, but want to call out other people.
Let's talk about the people who nothing is theirs. Everything is someone else pays for. Everything is someone else pays for. They'll take shots at someone else.
Whoa, don't take it there.
You forgot what position you're in, didn't you? Like, we could take it so many places. Yeah. We could take it to so many places how we've helped people. Gave them our last. And they're like, oh, look at the hand, let me bite it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just apply for us just because we're Moors. That applies to everyone. The problem is we still have people who think like that. Like, what's wrong with you? You came to me. Let's just say us. You came to us begging.
But they'll be back.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Funny part.
But
too.
that's
they're going to be back.
They burn the bridge.
For help.
They burn the bridge. So they're going to be paddling. Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty.
It's sad.
It is sad. It is sad.
Now I'm reading comments.
Oh.
What do you all think about powernomics? I don't know what powernomics is. Sounds like a made-up word. If you're talking about economics, the system's broken. So what the Moors actually need is one, to be honorable first, right? Then, hopefully.
Can you go back on that one?
Oh, be honorable first.
Yeah.
Amongst each other, amongst yourself first, then amongst the people around you.
To yourself first, and then to others.
Yes. And then hopefully, another nation would be like, we see what you're doing, Moors. We would like to support you. Verbally, currency, whatever. That's where we can be. But Moors would be like, oh, let me come to your class, get all this information, and be like, oh, don't talk to them. Like, what are you doing? Why are you messing it up? It's stupid.
Yeah.
How long does it take for a response? When we can check emails. But just to comment on that, people will email us, say, oh, we've been trying to reach you, and then we'll check our emails, and it said 2:51. Like, you email me the same day, and you're going on my social media now, and now you're interfering into my other things. Like, just relax.
We
should
get
see our
hundreds.
Oh my God.
We've actually there's hundreds and hundreds of emails and we
one man and there's other people on the Moorish Council that can also help.
It's not even just that. It's before I was even part of that. It was all of this.
It doesn't mean he doesn't want to help you. It's just he can only do so much.
This honestly is what it is. We do the videos. We present the information for free. You shouldn't be asking me anything.
Right. It's because a lot of people want you to do things for them.
But that's not what I'm here for.
I know. You know how my brother came the other day and he said to me, oh, you do the research and then you tell me. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. Yeah. Here's the research. Here is the information. Because if I give you this stuff, first of all, you're not going to remember it because you're not learning it for yourself. You have to learn it and read it for yourself and understand it and really grasp the concepts. So that way you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You can't we don't want you to go out into the world or go out into court and think you know what you're doing, and then you're gonna come back and be like, well, yes, please.
Remember that person that I showed you the messages that I helped him in April, and he called me 7 times the day he showed up to court and said, and texted me everything. Said, just so you know, I don't know what I'm doing. What are you telling me for? I told you, come to class, come to class, come to class. I give you everything for free.
For free. And if you can't make it to class, the videos are free online.
Yes. And if you want more specifics, I write books. Right. It's just kind of like this. It's kind of like a black hole.
Every single person wants to be spoon-fed, and that's not possible. You can't spoon-feed everybody.
And if they want that, move out here.
Right.
Help us make this Moorish town, and I'll drain myself into you. Because that's what we do here. Right. We pour ourselves into each other. So come out here if you want that exclusive, no holds barred, not waiting a week for me to answer your email. Move out here. And if not, I'm sorry, shut up. Because I'm one person.
I just had to put that up because I love this edit.
Huh?
I just had to put that up because I love this edit.
Yeah. I'll read more comments. Question was in regards to towing. So if you're talking about towing, and please don't think that this was an attack to you at all.
Thank you.
If you're talking about towing, look up a writ of repelvin, and I'll read it in Black's Law Dictionary. Repelvin.
Did I show you that?
My hair is so big.
We're on live.
No. You know what? The same struggles that we go through as being, one person and so many people want to help. I'm sure all the people here that study get the same situation with the people around them.
Listen, there was a person who I spoke with. I'm just gonna say his name, Brother Tariq. Mm-hmm. He said the information I have only goes so far. Mm-hmm. He's like, what else do I do? What else do I do? What else do I do? I'm like, you're reaching the same, basically, apex that we all reach. Mm-hmm. Our information works to an extent. Yeah. Because the rest is predicated on the people supporting what we're saying. Mm-hmm. Not really supporting what we're saying, but knowing that it's the truth and helping us push that. Yeah. That's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And once all these people reach to whatever level that it is that they're going to reach, they're going to find the same issue. Mm-hmm. There's not enough of us in this area. That's always the problem. So I'm still looking up your whole tow thing.
What tow?
So yeah, someone asked tow, T-O-W. Oh. I guess their car was towed. I don't know. But if you go to page 1463, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, repelvin, R-E-P-L-E-V-I-N, a personal action brought to recover possessions of goods unlawfully taken, but not only applicable to the taking of goods distrained for rent. The validity of which taking it is the mode of contesting if the party from whom the goods were taken wishes to have them back. Whereas if he prefers to have damages instead, the validity may be contested by action or trespass or unlawful distress. So basically you send in a writ of repelvin and say, give me my stuff back. Mm-hmm. And you put in why it was or exactly how it was unlawfully taken. Mm-hmm. And in a court of equity, and a court of common law, and an actual constitutional court, even a commercial court that's dealing with equity, they're supposed to give you your stuff back. Mm-hmm. The issue is the democracy is a mobocracy. Mm-hmm. So if the mob takes your stuff and you say, please, mob, give me my stuff back, you think they're going to give it to you? Let's be honest.
It doesn't benefit them to give it back to you.
So basically, what Moors are trying to teach is have respect for law, order, and governmental principles. But don't forget that we're dealing with a corrupt system. So in order to combat that system, get with like-minded, active Moors who are civic-minded to help alleviate this. That's the solution, and you'll come to the same conclusion. I'm telling you. Don't believe me. What other questions we got? Hopefully I answered that person's question, which I know I did. I'm in Hartford, Connecticut for a week. If you're willing to come, we're having class tomorrow. Hartford, Connecticut is like an hour and a half away. I'm pretty sure. Bible class tomorrow. I'm going to drop the link so you can see what time and the location. It's at the Moore Library. Come on down. What other questions we got? Peace. Take these abandoned houses and make Europeans pay rent. Well, when you're dealing with a allodial title, you're dealing with protecting your estate. So how are you going to protect that if you're one person? This is where Joe society comes in. This is where the state comes in. This is where your people comes in. This is where nationhood comes in. So again, the solution is always the people because we're dealing with a corrupt system. So this person said the Moorish government and people need to prepare a monolithic political demand for taxes to be paid to the Moorish Empire. How does that happen? When the Moors are organized in one area first, because we can't organize nationwide. We have to organize in your area. So people will say things like that, which are great ideas and true, that needs to happen. But look at our current condition right now. You're on Rise of the Moors YouTube to speak to other Moors. And you're saying that on this platform. Why not into your town hall? That's where it should be said, in your town hall. So you tax the Europeans in that city or in that town.
Or in your Moorish science temple so that they, as a body, can approach the de facto government and go to town hall as a body and get that to happen.
Exactly.
You have their city council meetings all of the time. Attend them.
Yep.
The only reason why they're running stuff is because they're running stuff. Show up.
And that's why it's called de facto.
If we're not showing up, we have no say. We're not showing up like, hey, we don't like that. You want to make cuts on our schools in our city, but they don't even live there? Hey, no, we don't like that. Show up.
But you're right. But the problem is we'll have these dirty ass so-called political figures saying, well, I'm a democracy. Even though they go to Prince Hall Masonic lodges, they wear the Moorish fez, and they still call people colored and black. They'll say, oh, yeah, I represent the people, but they actually don't represent us. So if you're part of that whole Masonic order, obviously you know there's sworn to secrecy. So how are you going to be represent or be about the people if you're sworn to keep them in the dark? But another half that Abdullah teaches is that a lot of these so-called black Masons, they don't actually know the full extent of this.
Right.
So they know something, but they don't know the full extent. Right. Which is part of the problem because the blind leading the blind. But then our people don't know that they're blind, so they'll hear the whole same colored game, colored rights, they'll gravitate towards that. So when the Moors say this, they're like, well, I don't know what that is, when it's really what we need. So you're right. The problem is we need competent leaders, which is where the rights of indigenous people comes into play, where we say who we want to elect. And we don't go to this BS system where, we have to register to vote 30 days before, or your vote doesn't matter, which is what the prophet talked about.
And we have to choose from two people that they supply.
Yeah, so and that's exactly what the prophet talked about when he talked about voting and voting within your state, meaning your group of people, meaning your people, not what these people are giving you as options.
Right, the two options.
Like, come on. Jeez Louise, mac and cheese. Oh, did so-and-so tell you where he was in blah, 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 so he come to class?
He never, young one.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, he's in...
When I nationalize, how do I maintain my livelihood as a truck driver? You got to drive for a Moorish company. But you can put your name correction on the record with your so-called job and risk being fired. Because that's a real risk that we have to address. We can't just say, well, yeah, you do your name correction, everything's going to work fine. Right. It's not always fine. So you literally have to speak to whomever, put it on the record that, yes, I'm non-taxed, blah, 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 blah. That's how you do it. Or you can quit, move down here, find some work down here, and be part of a Juro society of active Moors. We're trying to push in a real direction. So when we go to City Hall, you can attend and say, yes, this is what we're doing, and be part of that. And have your voice heard within your Moorish society.
And while you're having your voice heard, work on starting your own truck driving company, a Moorish truck driver, because we need that.
Yeah, we're shipping all these things. Imagine we had our own truck, which is our own mail, whatever, PS, Moorish, UPS. Be that for the Moors. But the problem is a lot of Moors aren't dominating the industry. Because no
they're not even getting in the game.
And then when we do get in the game like us, we're the people supporting. This is basically a plea to our people. Support us so we can support you.
Mm-hmm.
Our greatest economic asset comes from everyone, or a majority of people harnessing products and services through buying, selling, or trade. Now look at this. Local businesses, they're thriving. They're not balling, which when our people talk about business, they always talk about the multi-billion-dollar whatever. Look at these local businesses. They're working. Think locally. Think Moorish Town. That's how we thrive. So I'm thinking multi-billion-dollar international thing. There's levels to this.
I mean, and there's a consistency. Like the restaurant that I work in has been open in this city for 20-something, 22 years. They make at least $1 million a year now because they're consistent and they've been open for so long. You're gonna struggle at first.
And that building is small.
It's tiny.
How many seats are in
there? Not enough.
Yeah, no.
Not enough.
Give a number.
Maybe 50.
50 seats. And they make how much a year?
At least
$1 million a year. And it's tight in there.
Yeah. It's amazingly tight. Amazingly tight.
And that's local.
Yep.
They're not a chain. Are they a chain?
No, he just owns 2 other places.
It's not a chain. $1 million.
Wow.
What are Moors smoking? What are they smoking? Oh, they're smoking too much. That's what it is.
It's true.
Moors be smoking too much. Does any more in the chat work in a contemporary art museum? Listen to this. We should lien all property they have or develop so they can't sell it. So they can't sell it without showing true ownership, which they could never produce. Look at that. Trying to take the easy way out. What is a lien going to do? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's just be real. When the mob is trying to extort money from the local laundromat, do they send them paperwork? Or do they show up saying, "Give me your stuff"? That's the ultimate lien. So instead of filing any document with these people, let's go to City Hall with 100 of us and say, "You're not going to do this in our communities anymore." That's the ultimate lien. Because then they have to answer us. Because what I've seen is Asiatics will go to these places and they're either sellouts or they'll go incompetently and scream and do a bunch of crap. We're not going to take this anymore, and then leave and then still pay taxes. So instead of doing that, relocate to a Moorish territory so we can go to City Hall and say, when your municipal agents see these IDs, automatically tax exempt. And make sure every business doing business here knows that.
Right.
And they're obligated to enforce that. But no, you want to send paperwork and try to get something instead of standing with your people and make something happen. Let's be real. Why are we not being real with ourselves? What else we got here? It's all love, people. I'm just passionate. Great. Peace. How long we been live?
For 1 hour and 30 minutes.
All right. We're gonna wrap it up soon. So ask your questions now. Again, if you're in the area, come to class. I'm posting the link in the description. Say it again. I mean, not in the description, in the chat. That's the link to the class. When you click on it, you'll see where we're going to be. Come with your questions. Come with your concerns. Come with your remedy. Come with solutions. Come with your eyes wide open. Come unbiased.
Come period.
Come ready to learn. Come ready to teach. Come ready to listen. Come ready to speak.
Yeah, contribute. Contribute.
Fatima, we're glad you're okay. Know that we have a women's auxiliary group that you're welcome to join. You can DM me on Instagram and I can add you to the group.
See you later.
Yep. You're back on camera.
Oh, really?
By the by.
You want to drop my
You want to put it in?
My handle.
So I gotta go on Instagram. Oh, you want to spell
No,
it for
just
me?
drop my handle. Yeah.
How do
It's
you?
a revolutionary journal with underscores under each word.
Hmm?
A underscore. It's A underscore revolutionary
A.
underscore dreamer on Instagram. DM me. Send me a message first. DM me about why you're messaging me. If you just send me your friend request, I'm not going to know who you are. So
I definitely spelled revolutionary.
send me a DM letting me know that you want to join the Women's Auxiliary Group or that your girlfriend wants to join. Send me their handle.
Or ask your girlfriend or your wife to join.
Right, and I'll add them into the group. But if you just send me a friend request, I won't know who you are. So please send me a message, and I'll add you into the group.
No underscore after dreamer?
No.
What else we got?
I'm making her tea right
Did
now.
that post? Oh yeah, they post. Okay, cool. Someone said I am. Thank you. How much to bring you to my territory? All that has to be done is my travels have to be paid for, and I need a place to stay. And that's it. So travel there and back, and then when I'm there, give me a place to stay. That's it. Someone said they sent you a friend request 30 minutes ago.
All right. But again, if you just send me friend requests, because I have a bunch, I won't know who you are. So send me a DM, send me a message, so I know who you are and I know what you're looking for.
Yes.
Because I don't know your handle when you're sending me a friend request. Hey, that's a beautiful picture.
Ooh, proper steam tan going on.
Let's synthesize the 3 most powerful topics and commit 2019 to resolving them amongst our people. The top 3 issues I'm seeing is Moors don't live near each other, Moors don't live near each other, and Moors don't live near each other. Because from that, then we can solve our problems.
True.
It's just this not many active, civic-minded Moors live next to each other.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do. Please.
Did that person say what?
She said repeat because she said if you added her on Instagram, message her that you want to be part of the group so that she knows because she has a lot of requests just like we all do.
I don't know who you are, so I don't know your handle. So all you have to do is send me a DM. Tell me that you want to be part of the group or that you want your girlfriend to be part of the group. Send me their name and I'll add you in.
Someone asked a very important question. Jamal, do you have any preparations for these Asiatics to whom are serious about moving to your territory, or are they on their own? We have the Rise of the Moors platform, so you have a way to make your own fiat when you get out here. Make your product, sell it. Because what's business is about supply and demand. So what's a better opportunity than offering you a way to supply a demand? Because then that's just constant currency. So that's preparation. So if you need extra, outside income, if you have a job, you have that. So you can never, not pay rent or miss rent or whatever. That's to me, that's a lot. Business opportunity. That's what we're offering. We're also offering if something happens, we will be there with you.
Right.
That's what Moors want. Like
Community.
Yes, community. If there's an issue with whatever, and you needed to go to City Hall, you're not going to be by yourself, and you already know you were competent Moors because you're watching the channel.
Plus, we do have some other Moors out here. Just need more.
Actually, somebody's moving here in December.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Yep. Someone is coming out here already.
Yep.
Very excited.
Because they come to class pretty much every Saturday, and they do like.
Can I be more definitive?
2 hours
What? Just tell me what you would like me to say, and I'll say yes or no. Because I don't. What more do you want? We will stand with you. We will be with you. We're having a Moorish community. What else do you want? What would you like me to say? You already know we go to court with Moors. You already seen we go to City Hall with Moors. You already seen like what we're providing business opportunities. What would you want me to say? How many people would you need to move there? I don't know how to answer that question.
As many as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if 3 people move out here, dope. We have 3 more people that we can be Moors with and go to City Hall with and get things done with. Like, there's no limit. How about this? Do you think 10 people would have a greater impact on City Hall as opposed to 100? So now you tell me what number do I want here? Or what number you think would be great here?
One person, 10 is better than 1. 50 is better than 10. 100 is better than 50. So to say how many is there's no.
We're limiting ourselves.
Yeah, there's no answer for that.
Right.
I desire for every Moor in this area to be woke and active.
Other nations work from many angles to achieve the same goal, but guess what? They're all in the same area. You don't see one Chinese person in Rhode Island and then another Chinese person in California, and they're talking about on social media, oh, we need to be doing this. No, they live in the same community.
Isn't that funny too? Because I'm sure where everyone lives, there's an area where you know all the Asians are. There's an area where you know all the Africans are. There's an area where you know all the Hispanic people are. That's all that we need.
Listen,
that's what we're getting at.
We've seen Scandinavian housing.
Yep.
Scandinavian community centers, Portuguese community centers, Italian community centers, French community. Like, how come there's all of that? Not one thing Moorish, and this is our land. What?
Not one.
How does that make sense?
There's not even a so-called Black community center.
Yeah. If it is, it's a church.
Right.
Which they don't own.
And they put it. Yeah.
And then it's closed every other day, so you can't even do things there.
Nope. The only thing is that Sunday remedy.
Someone said, I was thinking that there were several Moors amongst you all. I guess my question was based on how many would be needed to make an adequate change. Again,
as many as possible.
We average about 20 people in class. But let's be honest, not all of those 20 people are active, are like as active as what we're doing.
Right.
Meaning, yeah.
I was just going to say, we need a Moorish town, city. We just need as many as possible.
How about
we need
this?
an empire.
How about this? There's governmental positions that need to be filled, like our own registrar, so we can record our documents.
Treasurer.
Our own treasurer.
Secretary.
Our own secretary. Our own notary.
House speaker.
All of these positions need to be filled. Our own legislator. Our own Moorish laundromat. Our own Moorish restaurant. Our own Moorish farms. That's how many people we need. And we'll be able to fulfill certain things as more active people come. Because there's people here, but we'll schedule meetings, and then as soon as Jamal's not at that meeting, well, we still meeting up? Like, how is that? How am I even a factor in if Moors meet up or not?
Right.
That's retarded. Right. So we need active, civic-minded Moors, not just Moors.
We're just looking for one person to do everything and to be the savior, and just one person for everything. Have your own mind. Have your own ideas and opinions.
Yeah, there's only so much
one person
can do.
Right. That doesn't mean when you move out here, he's going to be with you at every single thing that you need him for. That doesn't mean every single time you go to court, because you keep showing up to your straw name, that he's going to be standing there with you every single time. That's not what that means.
Imagine. I wish Yao was here, because Yao was in City Hall with me. Yao knows what's up.
He knows.
Yao's seen it for himself. What one more at a table can do.
We had a plan to go, the 3 of us at least.
When?
You know where I want to go.
Toronto?
No.
How to get a place, food programs. I don't know what you're asking. Oh, that's what you want me to say? If you want, I could put in a link for an apartment. there's other Moors that want to move out here. All right, so look at this.
Craigslist.org.
Look, listen. You know how many Moors tell us, "Oh, I want to move out there. I want to move out there." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are willing to have roommates as long as they're Moors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this person from Texas wants to move out here, and another person from Florida wants to move out here. What if they talk, like, right? What if the people in our chat, the people that watch our videos, create a Moors exodus to Rhode Island, so-called territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I'm looking for this type of person, roommate, boom, 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 and then they make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what?
You know what? People want us to like have a transition set up for them to make this easier, but we need the people
to make it easier.
Yeah, to do that.
To make it easier.
Yeah, so that future Moors coming, we can make it easier for them. Or transitioning from straw to natural person, we can make it easier for them. But we got to start somewhere.
Now, a lot of fear is involved in, well, what if I move out here and then I get kicked out of my apartment? Mm-hmm. Well, that's where we come into play, where you're not kicking this person out. Because he or she is Aboriginal and Indigenous, and that's what you're not doing. That's where our numbers come into force. And then we go to City Hall and we say, this is not happening. And then we show up every single day if we need to make sure that person does not get kicked out of their house. But that only comes with, are you honorable? Are you really about this? Because we're not risking everything for someone who's just going to turn on you later. Yep. But someone moving out here, I know, okay, you're about something.
Because we've literally been in situations where we had to put ourselves in potentially harm's way.
Yeah. This video is you get arrested for Moors, not for Jamal. That's for other people.
Right. Yep.
What more could you ask for in someone that's in a Moor? Like
that's what you're coming down here for, is that support. But don't have your brothers and sisters do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I have no direct request messages. No DMs.
It is what it is.
Well, I'm just saying I don't want people to get upset when they're not added to the Women's Auxiliary group, because it's on Instagram. You can add me as a friend, but I need you to DM me. I want to be a part of the Women's Auxiliary group so I can add you in. I will make an email for it soon, though.
All right, so someone said,
that way it's easier.
Oh, sorry. Said, I'm asking for provisions as a government. Have you prepared? Strategy, action plan, etc. Not talk on the fly. Got you. We have this Narragansett Trust, where once the people get down here, we have an election of who's going to do what. Right. Then we strategize. Not, Jamal, what do you have for everyone? Because that's not what a government is. That's not what a republic is. Right. A republic is the public decides.
What do you bring?
But if the public ain't here,
what can you do? What are you best at? What can you do to help? How can you provide your services? What position do you want to see yourself in?
So in short, I can provide how to structure something, how to type something out and make it so everyone has a part in it. And because we've done this, we presented to the group of Moors here, this is our governmental structure. Be part of this. The issue is, are they showing up? And if Jamal's not there, are they still going to show up?
Right.
That's the issue.
And if you don't want the responsibility, I don't know what to tell you.
Then you don't want government.
Right.
And you don't want progress.
100% true.
They said, I told her she's on the phone now. She'll shoot you a message soon.
Right.
How about people linking up, trust, then vote on what we do? A trust is not a document. I trust you. You're a human. Yep. Then we put our minds together. Then we put what we want on paper. That's just a reflection of what
we have in our minds.
What we're expressing. Yes. The trust is the people. Rise of Moors is already a trust. You're already part of our trust by tuning into our videos. Another side of that would be coming out here to enforce that. What enforces law? The people, not paper. And I'm not barking at you. I'm passionate. Again, remember, it's just people say things like that, but they don't get that. A trust is not a piece of paper. A trust is not a piece of paper. You said I sound like my grandfather?
What do I know?
Yeah. A trust is not a piece of paper. It is the people. I trust you that when the Europeans locked me up, you was going to be there, and you were. That's a piece of paper. You didn't send no paper. You showed up. That's a trust.
Not a fax.
This is a woman showing up.
Yeah.
More valiant than most of these men out here saying, oh, I'll die for you. Said that on camera. Where you at? Gone.
Mm.
How our women got more testicular fortitude than our men, and they don't got testicles? How does that make sense?
Yeah, that was crazy.
All right, I'm asking for your plan. Plan as far as that prior written agenda, action plan. You're a military man. You know what I'm saying. I know what you're saying. I already have it all. You know what I mean? There's this thing called Southside Community Land Trust out here that helps teach Asiatics, they call them black people, how to farm, and they will give them land. Now imagine this farmers that came out here and said, Jamal, what do we do about this? Okay, you want to be a farmer? Let's go to City Hall, talk to the Southside Community Land Trust to allocate some land for us, tax-free because it's our land. That's the plan. But if you're down here, you would know that. I'm not going to give you everything because then you're going to try to do it over there. Come out here and do it. Don't believe me, just watch. Right? There's so much out here. So much out here. And Morris just like, well, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for
What
us?
are you going to do for yourself?
I'm willing to do it for you, but if you ain't here, I'm not doing nothing for you. Support me and I'll support you.
Mhm.
Lean on me so I can lean on you. Let's be real. Let's be honest.
He's not asking you for your fiat.
I want your fiat.
People are over here like, how can we send you? No, support the website.
You're going to send me fiat, buy my book.
Yep. Learn something.
RiseAndMore.org. When other nationalities come, they concentrate their efforts in certain industries to work for knowledge and experience to control that industry wide. Chinese in restaurant, then real estate. But listen, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, who's there? Chinese people, meaning what? They live in the same area. They're not on social media like, oh, I'll be your chef online because we got to trust and we'll do it online and I'll mail you over my cooked food. Like, they live in the same area. Let's be serious. Bro, I'm all for your energy. I wish y'all could locate here in Florida. Somewhere a little more tropical.
Shoosh, me too.
Prophet said, once the Europeans go back home, the climate will change back to a tropical climate. But if we don't recolonize our areas that they colonized, they're never going to leave.
Yeah.
There's already hella Asiatics in Florida, in Texas, in California. We need to recolonize our areas.
Yeah. We're
That pushes them out. That's,
dominated up here because we're in the European colonies.
and that's reverse gentrification,
Right.
which makes them have to go back to Europe.
Mhm.
So recolonize the areas that they colonized. Reverse gentrification. And if the Asiatics can do in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears, if they can do that whole trail and set up Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street, which, I thought they were Indians. Anyway, if they can do that and establish that and dominate,
Imagine what
come
we
on.
could do. And that was
And they
then.
were forced to do that.
And that was then.
And they were forced. That was then, and they were forced. Imagine what we could do of our own free will.
Do you know how hard
Knowingly.
it was to do anything as an Asiatic person in that time?
Mhm.
And they set up a whole Black Wall Street?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of their own free will. I mean, well, no, that wasn't of their own free will. They were forced to relocate.
Right. But then they
Forced.
built that. for
I know,
themselves.
and they still built something. We're just saying, please relocate of your own free will.
Right.
And imagine what
And
we
you
can
know
do.
what? Even with the relocation thing, there's a bunch of people in Texas that we mail things to.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of people in Florida, in New York, Bronx specifically. So if all those people got together
Right.
and just studied, and then if all those people even said, you know what, let's make the move together.
Mhm.
Let's get an
Exodus.
apartment together. Let's get a house together.
That's the ultimate
and,
trust.
you know, come down to our territory. It, you know, that's feasible.
Someone said, bro, I'm not talking about farming land, trusts, or any of that. I'm asking for a definitive, prior, written plan of action, a how-to guide to assist people with uprooting their lives to move here. I don't live your life, so I can't give you that.
Each person would really be individual.
Yeah, they would have to consider their options,
This-
look at their entire life, and of their own free will make that choice.
The same way you would move out of your house or your apartment in your own city, you can do that here.
Yeah.
Look for a place, then go
Mhm.
see it. Hey,
Or just, how people buy concert tickets. What do? They save up for that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or they want to buy a PlayStation, or they want to buy a new purse. They save up.
Or get together with the Moors in your area. This us being live gives that opportunity for people to connect, and that's why we always say, where are you? Shout out your area. Contact each other so that you can link up, because that alone, even if you guys don't relocate, you guys getting together wherever you are helps us. It helps the nation, because the point is we just need to start grouping up.
And a lot of that of people not moving is they don't know where to work, or they're not gonna have a job here or whatever. There's a Moor that comes to class, United, has his own paint company.
Yep.
That's a job. So if you want to come out here and look for a job, there's a Moor that has his own paint company that it will only increase if he has more painters. So then the work can just spread.
And who works for him? Everybody he brings to class. Everybody who comes to class, they all work with him.
Well, are you willing to paint? And he doesn't just do paint. I've helped him take someone's washing machine and dryer on his truck. We brought it to their house and installed it for a Moorish woman and her children. And I didn't get paid to do it. I was like, oh, this is your... because I was up in his turf.
Help his business.
Yeah. Got all dirty.
Make sure that he made sure that he can make his business happen, so he can expand, for free, because it helps Morris in the end. Yep.
That's his business.
You know what's funny? I have a Portuguese friend, and their boiler went out, and all her uncles showed up. They dropped everything they were doing and showed up to her father's house, and worked into the night. Worked the next morning to make sure that this man and his family had a boiler. And they all chipped in because he didn't have money, no insurance, nothing. Like he couldn't afford the boiler. They all chipped in, everyone in the family, and all the men in the family put that boiler in and figured it out. That we need that type of community and banding together, and because life will get easier that way.
Facts. That's nationwide.
It's the same thing if your roof goes, if you got electrical problem, whatever, you'll survive. You'll have a better chance of survival if you're around your people.
And when those people are willing to help you.
Yep.
All I'm saying.
You gotta be willing. And also, if you gotta be willing not to give as much as you're taking, and to be aware of what you're taking.
Send me emailing address to purchase books. You can buy books on our website. I'll put it in the chat. There's so much we can do once we are together. We're gonna have one more moving out here. We're gonna have more like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. Oh.
An hour.
Well, you're.
Well, my driving 45 minutes. No, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, but I made it back in 45 because this is my land.
It's just there's so many opportunities when we come together. Because ain't no more gonna come out here and then I say, let's go to City Hall and talk about how we're not gonna pay taxes to them. And they're gonna be like, no, let's not do that. Come on. Let's be serious. And the people that are out here seeing how these Europeans fold, just not even on them being competent, just on them saying what I told them to say. Yep.
And on the mass of our group showing up and bearing witness to someone else's, situation that they're going through. You're not gonna go through this in the shadow. We're gonna make this public.
And that's what the Europeans and some of these dirty Moors and dirty Indians highly dislike. Because they lose credibility, which is great. Oh, because you opened the door. All right, well, that's Moorish banking. It is.
Yeah.
Because if we don't pool our currency together, just like the prophet said, until we have a national treasurer, we're not going to be shit. Excuse my language. But that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the hard, not so hard truth.
Yeah. We definitely need to create our own economics. Because it's not just about where we spend our money. It's about creating places to spend our money.
Yep. Like a Moorish mall.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. You know, like, our people already get it because they already do it. Like at these conscious community things, vendors show up. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Make that a Moorish town. What are you doing?
Yeah. Could you imagine if everyone at these events, these conscious meetups, just lived in one place or actually got together more often than that one time?
Then the real revolutionaries would stand out. Because anyone could just go to these places and say, you know, the black man and we're so conscious and, you know, the black planet, you know, they can say all of this shit. But then when it comes down to being in court, speaking to city officials, let's see how quick you fold. Because you'll be, you know, when our people, they have a phone conference, they'll have to put on their white voice.
Yeah.
But then that's just for show. But then you'll be so-called hood in front of your people.
Yeah.
So which person are you? Let's put you to the test. Because a lot of people fold around here. Moors, so-called Moors, folding quick. So let's see what it really is. Let's see how woke you really are.
Yeah. You know, we should probably order that. We'll talk about it later.
Are you still here?
Huh?
Are you still here?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were done. My bad. I was like, damn, we just missed some vital.
No.
Sunning everybody.
Still going.
Cowards
Still
out there.
going.
Yeah, I mean, I already know what the energy that we're asking for is people who are not cowards. I already know that. The people that are willing, we already know the Moors in Chicago, they're not cowards. Those are the type of people we need out here. There's too many cowards in this Moorish movement. Too many cowards. Folding at anything. The mere thought of a European, they're folding. And they hide it with anger. Folding!
Yeah. It's definitely, not to say that it's not scary. Well, what's important to you?
Who do you fear more, your God or Rome?
Because I've definitely been in situations where I was like, all right, I might get snatched up, but I have to do it.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, the Quran will tell you. We'll just say Allah, but it's I want to say it's not Allah. It's nature. It's the universe. It's the ancestors. It's the spirit. We are being tested here. So let's just call it Allah. If Allah sees that during your test you're a coward, you ain't going nowhere. And it talks about cowards. What happens to cowards? They will receive their blessings. Blessings, not blessings, because it talks about blessings. Blissful. It talks about blissful. Then it talks about blessings. Which one do you want? Because if you're a coward, you're going to be blessed left and right. Let's be honest. How much would it take or what to do to start our own treasury? We would have to domicile in the same area. Because when we have a treasury, we would have to be able to protect that treasury. And the treasury is what holds our currency, basically. And let's see if the definition will give us some more insight.
If you guys, somebody asked, do you by any chance do a video about how to start a Moorish business?
Yes, we, I mean, we don't have videos specifically about that, but we have talked about that in many of our videos. We also have, I'll put it in the chat again, a business plan template and business plan or business bylaws. I'm about to put it in the chat right now. His bylaws, so you can organize your board of directors or whatever you want to call it, unincorporated body politic. And here's a business plan template, so you can actually put, your mission statement, all that kind of stuff, what your business is about. So you have a clear presentation. So when you want to have people be part of what you're doing, they have all their questions already answered. Both of those are in the chat. And I'm looking up treasury or treasurer. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition.
Is that something that you guys want us to do more of? Business talk, economic talk?
Well, here's the thing. We started off with that, with this, but we will always go back into come here.
Yeah, civics.
It's a circular argument, and we'll never get out of that circle until there's an increased number of Moors in one area who are active, civic-minded. And if we just look at what the Prophet did, we can answer all our questions. The Prophet had his own business. Then he was teaching Moors how to have their own business. But they started by assisting him. And there's also other Asiatics, other so-called black people that have businesses. They just need to be taught that they're Moors.
Yeah.
And then stop paying taxes to these Europeans and we'll protect you if they come for you. And then pay taxes into your own government. So it's not like we're dealing with people who don't have businesses already. There's a lot of Asiatics that have businesses. They just need to know that they're Moors. So treasure. A treasure is a thing hidden or buried in the earth, on which no one can prove his property, and which is discovered by chance. Treasurer, an officer of a public or private corporation, company, or government, charged with the receipt, custody, and disbursement of its monies or funds. Treasury, a place or building in which stores of wealth are deposited, particularly a place where the public revenues are deposited and kept, and where money is dispersed to defray the expense of government. So in order to have a treasury, there would have to be people who are engaged in commerce. You can be engaged in commerce by participating in the RiseOfTheMoors.org platform. Then based on the currency that you make from there, you can put a little aside and say, I'm going to put some into my government, which would be taxes. And then that's how we get a treasury.
And you put into your government so that your government can protect your business.
And what's the best way to protect your assets? To be in the same area with other people that are willing to protect your assets, because it's their assets too. Because you're their asset. That's the trust. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's perfect.
When I get the thought, I gotta get it.
Perfectly said.
That was a good question. And this person said, "That's not what I'm asking for." I don't know what you're asking for then. Like I said, if you're asking for an individual how to uproot your life, look at your life and you tell yourself how to uproot your life, because I'm not living your life. Yes, keep sharing where you're from. Hopefully people will
wake up. Yeah.
Those documents are not what I'm asking for. I don't know what you're asking for then. I gave you plans.
Yes.
Don't know what you want. As far as my opinion on what y'all could do more of, could you go into the basics of how to move once nationalized, i.e. housing, so we're not giving away the fiat and can save traveling, driving laws? The solution is moving in an area where there are already Moors, because this stuff works to an extent, thank you, and it will work increasingly more when there's more people around. Yeah. So if you're driving or traveling and you want to be secure in knowing that the municipal agents will not bother you, it would be beneficial for you to go to your city hall with other Moors and let the city officials know that if these municipal policy enforcers violate us, we're coming for you because you're in charge of them. That's the ultimate lien. That'll happen once there's a Moorish city, Moorish town, Moorish whatever. That's the best solution that I can say, because you can do all the paperwork in the world, but that does not stop men with guns. So how do you stop men with guns? You talk to their boss. Who's their boss? The city agents. Who's the city agents? City hall people. Who are they? You don't know because you don't go. Why don't you go? Because there's probably not Moors around you to go with you and you're afraid. So what's the solution? Move to where there's Moors. I don't want y'all to think that we're just saying move out here just to say it.
No,
It's
for community, so we can
Yeah.
actually make change.
I know it's not impossible, just hard to uproot your life. So much going on in your personal lives. I trust me, I know. That's why I'm saying of your own free will, because all of you are asking us for remedy. We can say follow this paperwork, do this and do that, but that only works so far as an individual. And I can tell you for myself.
Malcolm X wasn't alone. Dr. King wasn't alone.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a team.
Charlie wasn't alone.
Right.
And don't think we're just asking everyone to uproot their lives. We know that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in our family who don't necessarily have anything going for themselves. Who it would probably benefit them to move somewhere else. You know what I mean?
We're not requesting this lightly.
We know
we know people have family. People have friends, a way of life, a place where you're comfortable. It's not lightly. It's people are requesting change of us, and we want change, but we need more people to do that.
We absolutely do. And if you're not willing to move out here, here's another solution. Start doing class at your local public library. Do videos, and if you do enough videos, and the content is Moorish and civic minded and for the people, we'll share that video so the people can know where you at and go to your classes. And then you can do what we're trying to do in your area if there's more of you there. So start doing videos. Start teaching people, start helping people. Literally, if you do
waking up Moors.
Yeah, look at how we started. Basically, me helping Lisette get that case dismissed because I actually helped someone. I was actually teaching someone. I wasn't just at home saying stuff. I went to court with people. That is what got people to gravitate towards us. Like, oh, these people are actually living what they speak. Do the same, and people will come to you. But don't let them take advantage of you. Don't let them swindle you into, oh, mentor me, and then
don't let them take your books and use it to even out their tables.
Yeah. So Russ stated more than once how you can, but it's your choice. Exactly. Thank you. I wish we could join live chat instead of texting. So do I. But it would be better than live chat? You living out here. Yeah. Okay, move out there. You are government. So where's your definitive generic action plan for assisting people with moving out there? I just told you we're offering.
Yeah, come out here and be a part of government with us. Help us establish it.
Take a trip out here, and we'll speak face to face, and we'll answer all your questions. Because you're asking the same questions, and I'm giving you the same answers. How can I assist you? I can show you. I can give you links to apartments that are out here.
Well, the situation is if you're not getting the answer that you want, so you keep asking the question, but that is the answer. We need to establish this, but in order to establish it, we need people to join us. So we never said it was going to be easy. We appreciate that it is a big thing to request of someone. But if you're requesting change from us and you're requesting for us to put ourselves out there to affect change, we need support. So if you want it, then
prove it.
Yeah, come do it with us.
And if not, don't move out here. Come out here once every 3 months. Once every 4 months.
Or
once a year.
If you want it, then don't be alone in your area. Link up with other people and give us a network so that we can contact your group and your group can contact ours, and we can do it that way. But contribute to the nation somehow, contribute to your community somehow.
How would we contact you if we decide to come out that way or need you for counseling dealing with court? So if you're gonna come out here, I suggest you come out here during a Saturday so you can see class, see how many people are actually here, so you know we're not just lying to you. Then we can have a conversation from there. If you want to know where class is, go to riseofthemoors.org, click on class, and you'll see where we are every Saturday.
And the contact information is on riseofthemoors.org, counselor affairs.
Yep.
So you go in that tab, it'll give you everything you need to contact anyone from the counselor court for help.
Oh look, a Moore is 4 hours away from another Moore. That's great.
You can meet in the middle.
At a public place, like a library. Whenever I meet Moores, like when I went to Florida and I met people out there, you met at a library. And then we went to Dunkin' Donuts, which is also a public place.
Yeah, we're not at all saying be blind. You use precaution, but it's worth a try. We meet strangers all the time.
Even when we went to Chicago, Cujo told me some things, and I was like, I have to go for myself. I can't just listen to what you're saying. I have to see it for myself. I have to take the risk. And that's what we did. But we didn't just wonder, damn, I wonder what it's like out there.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about life. You can't experience it from someone else. You gotta live it too.
Oh, you man knows not like being told. Sounds like a prophecy. Be the prophet. All right. It's been like 2 hours?
2 hours and 16 minutes.
Well,
I see.
Tune in to Rise of the Moors tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. We'll be, are you going to do the thing?
I'm already getting texts about class tomorrow.
It's on the website.
I can't wait. No, they just excited.
Oh.
To be in class.
New people or like
no regulars. Regulars. They miss us.
Jamal, did you move up a degree? I noticed your tassel is black now in the past. I've had a black tassel, I've had a white tassel, and then I've had the black fez. How do I want to say it? So I wanted to be at a certain level within my own mind for me to wear this, the red fez. Then in my own mind, I wanted to be at another level in order for me to wear the black fez. So if you're talking about like moving up in a degree to myself, yes, I did. So I decided that I think I can wear the black fez. You mean swarthy fez? Yeah, same. Black absorbs all light. Black is colorless, so this is technically black.
It is colored black.
Although there's nothing actually black in nature. So I get what you're saying. Thank you for your team. Thank you for being a Moor.
Thank you.
And knowing that you are participating, because even being in the chat is participating. I share a story when I would watch Grand Chief Cujo's videos out in Canaan Land, just hearing, because I was alone at once, just like everyone else. I used to be alone with this information. I was in my room, all I had was Canaan Land videos, Tosh Street Bay, House of Ram. Hearing Cujo speak and then hearing other Moors in the room participating and laughing and seeing the chat, all of that meant something to me.
Yeah.
So don't think that just because you're not on camera or you're not whatever, don't compare yourself to anyone. You participating means something to someone somewhere. Trust me.
Yeah. That's my favorite classes are Canaan Land Moors and House of Ram because there's other people.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite classes.
Being there is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. Be patient with us, baby Moors. I know things that come natural and easy to y'all. Now, you know what it is? Not everything is easy. Like, if you look at all these books, it takes time to read this. So it's not easy. I may have been doing this longer, and I may sound frustrated. Only reason why I sound frustrated is because a lot of different Moors, like there'll be 10 people that can ask me the same question. So to me, that's frustrating, especially when I've already answered it on multiple videos, in multiple books, multiple written documents that I put together. For someone to ask me the same thing is kind of like mind numbing.
Or an answer that they can find on their own.
For like someone asked me, where do I get a flag? Mm-hmm. I never asked anyone where to get this. Mm-hmm. I Googled it. I went Amazon was like,
well, where do I
flag? Like,
where do I get a fez? Where do I get a dictionary? I've had people DM me, how do I proclaim my nationality? And I gave them RV Bay's page on proclamation, and it goes in depth.
And they were like, it's too much to read.
Yeah. Where is it? It's too much to read. If you can't read the explanation that they have and them trying to help you understand what it is you're actually doing, then you shouldn't sign these papers.
I used to spend hours on RVBaypublications.com, and I wasn't complaining, oh, it's so much. I was like, what? I need to know all of this so I can protect my mom's house, so I can protect my sister's house, so I can protect my younger sister, so I can protect my nephew. That's why I did it. Not, come on, let's be
And you know what? The other thing that makes us seem like things come easier to us, what people don't see is the long conversations we have, going back and forth about subjects and topics help us establish, clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the importance of being around other Moors, is so that you can mentally grow. Mm-hmm. Because you reading alone, it only goes so far. You can only develop your what would you call that?
Just your retention of information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because learning all of this was one thing, but then teaching it was completely
and
different.
That's another way of putting information into practice.
Yeah.
Is
teach it.
Yeah. Not even teaching, discussing it.
Yeah.
Just discussing, period, because then you have to deal with somebody else's opinion and navigate that and their point of view, and you guys can be saying the same thing but in two different ways. So it really forces you to grow.
So he said black fezzes are master adept, SMH. I don't know what that's for. I don't know if he's trying to say I'm not a master, I'm not an adept, but what is a master and what is an adept, and who determines that? Mm-hmm. So who can say who can and cannot wear the black fez?
Right.
Let me know. Because even the prophet was what? An Egyptian adept student, which means what? He was a student. Mm-hmm. So if you're a master in culinary arts, then you're a master, you're an adept, so you can wear black fez. Mm-hmm. Oh, if you're a master chef, you can wear a black fez. If you're a master painter, you can wear a black fez. If you're a master, jurisprudence, you can wear a black fez. So what type of master are you talking about?
I'm a master.
If you're a master of yourself,
I was going to say I'm a master of my own reality.
Mm-hmm. Reverse those dots. FYI, I just touched down and I'm currently getting caught up with the most updated information. How I come to the right place for the right guidance. Have I come to the right place for the right guidance? That's up to you to determine. If you're asking for something and we give you an answer, and that answer is correct, then you determine if that's the right place or not. I can't tell you, I have all the truth, only here. Mm-hmm. That's stupid. That would be stupid on my part.
That would be stupid for anybody to think they have all the answers, because we're all always growing. Mm-hmm. But if you want to fact check, risingmoors.org has a bunch of free stuff.
Listen. If you want to fact check any of my books, I have the sources. So check them.
Can you open up Moorish Dominions?
This one?
Yeah.
Where?
And give an example of how things are sourced.
I got you.
Just
I mean, I got pictures of definitions from dictionaries.
Yeah.
But I'll show them this. Straight from Rhode Island's website.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I'll show. That's the fire I'll show. Is it in this one? It should be in this one.
The fire.
Field nigger. Let's see. Can I put it in here? Put it on this side. I definitely know it's in here.
Yeah. Even the first one. That's all sourced.
Could you show them?
There's one where you go into Black's Law Dictionary.
Oh, here's an example, right? I'm talking about how we're not Indians. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not Indians. This is an excerpt from SOS, Secretary of State, .ri, Rhode Island, .gov, local government. Division Civics and Education, Rhode Island History. Home, Civics and Education, Rhode Island History link. The first mention of the name Rhode Island or any of its variations in connection with Narragansett Bay is the letter of Giovanni, the blah, 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 European, blah, 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 blah. Right? Then it calls Rhode Island the colony of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says indigenous people mistakenly named Indians why Christopher Columbus were the first inhabitants of present-day Rhode Island. So that's telling you it was a mistake, meaning we're not what? Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Then they say the first inhabitants, which means we're what? Aboriginal and indigenous. Then it says of present-day Rhode Island, which means what? It's not Rhode Island. Source from Secretary of State herself.
Even this one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can go to basically any page and see a freaking...
All source.
See a source. Oh, look. Congressional records. Congressional records. Newspapers. Congressional records. Congressional records. Congressional records. Congressional records. Congressional records. This is from Abdullah. Everything is sourced.
Yep. And everything written out. I don't know if you can see that. Source given.
These aren't just, I'm saying, I mean, look. Like,
These are like maybe a quarter of his book.
I have more books at my house. We just borrowed some from my grandfather. And you have your own library right there. Like, what? We can go into some of the books that are here. The Arabic contributions to the English language. English to Middle Egyptian Dictionary. The Kabbalion. Mystical Dimensions of Islam. This is one my grandfather wanted back. The Holy Quran, the Holy Bible, the Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, the Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East, History of the Moorish Empire, Volume 1, 2, and 3, History of the Moorish Empire in Europe, Volume 1, 2, and 3, specific, the Story of the Moors in Spain, Aztecs, Moors, and Christians, the Crescent Obscured, Golden Age of the Moor, the Mason, and the Alien, Nature Knows No Color Line, the Montauk Book of the Dead, When Rocks Cry Out, Africa, Mother of Western Civilization, Black's Law Dictionary, American Constitutional Interpretation, the American Heritage Dictionary, Encyclopedia of Occultism, the Exhuman of a Nation.
Oh my God!
Astrology. That's what I came back with my grandfather.
Whoa!
You're gonna block it right there.
Yeah.
This is one that I found.
That's insane.
We have
Wow.
Native American.
You guys just raided his library.
He said.
Anything you want. Dang it! I should have went.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and there's still books at my house. Why at my mom's house? That are still there.
Wow. Wow. I want to read this one.
So basically what I'm saying is these aren't just my thoughts and my own private opinion, and these are what other people are saying from different books. So the Crescent Obscure wasn't written by the person who wrote Golden Age of the Moor, but they say the same thing. I don't think people understand that. Let me see that one.
Showing her all the books.
The Mayan prophecies.
This is
I'm giving the whole thing.
stacked up.
Mayan prophecies. My grandfather.
You know, it's wonderful that we came from a family of readers.
His grandfather, look, Black No More.
Oh, my grandfather's 62.
History of Magic.
Oh, it smells like the hair, the stuff he uses in his hair.
We can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
We truly are blessed to be from the family we are.
Of course.
Because even the women in our family reading trash, at least they were reading.
Right.
Let me see.
Let me see that one.
Wow.
Where you are right now with your knowledge, I was in my 3rd year into this knowledge. I don't know what that means. Coming out of the Great Sale of Moorish Affairs, and that was right at 7 years ago. Since I've grown far past that, and I would not feel comfortable wearing a master affairs. That's fine. That's on you. That's cool. I mean, how many people do you know have literally thrown themselves into the system, which is on footage, right? And they were out 10 minutes later. Salute.
Thank you.
I mean, name them.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't an ego stroke, and this is you're saying you've been in this for 7 years and you're not wearing a black fez.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about you? Not anyone else.
You know, it's funny.
It's whether you think you're worthy or not.
And then who are you comparing yourself to, which makes you think that you can't wear an adept fez? Who are you comparing yourself to, and then why? Because you're here to learn your lesson, not someone else's.
And if you're waiting, then who are you waiting for? Who's going to give you permission?
Yeah.
I was listening to a business talk, and they were talking about titles and branding, and one of the things they said, you know, if you call yourself like the greatest artist in the world, the greatest musician in the world, or, you know, take the title and grow into it, because nobody's going to show up and knock on your door and say, congratulations, you can now wear, you know, you're now add up. It's just not going to happen.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You've made it, young Padawan.
Yeah, if you're waiting for that, I don't know.
Yeah, I did. Who comes around and gives that permission? And do we need that permission? Or do we need it from ourselves?
Major keys. So, should I wait for someone to tell me, yes, Jamal, you know how to build a house? Or do I build a house and see how it works? Like, is this floor going to collapse on me? That tells me if I'm a master architect or not. Not someone saying, oh, yeah, here's this black blah, blah, blah. Nah. Yes, master I am. Exactly. Oh, wait, no, that's someone's name. But still.
Is that nice? The chair. Oh.
Exactly. See, you're right about saying exactly that person. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Who are we waiting for to say, yes, you're the guy. Yes, you're the woman. Yes, you know this. Yes, you know that. Nah. Want to know what my confirmation was that I knew I was on the right track? I went to Taj's class, right? He was talking about some stuff, and then he went to the audience and asked the audience a question, and I answered. And then he said something else, right? Then he asked the audience another question, and then I answered. And then he was teaching, and he brought it back to my answer and said exactly what you were saying. So that's how I knew I was on the right track. But he never said, Jamal, I'm anointing your head with oil and hair. You can wear the black fez. I wanted to make sure I was on the same thought pattern as someone who I considered a master. Then I said yes. Then now, I don't want to get any more into that. Because people will take it misconstrued into whatever. I seen I was on the same thought pattern as someone I dubbed a master. So now I said, okay, after a few months of, still working on myself, then I was like, I think I should wear this.
That's like working next to a chef and this master kitchen chef, and you can make all the meals and decisions that this chef would make and handle all the situations that might occur. But you still wait for that person to say you're also a master or you're at the same level. You need to recognize that in yourself.
That is foolish. I'm not going to ignore him. This is very important for people to know. I don't need to block him. That is very important for people to know. There's no one out here putting black fezzes on people.
Right.
And if they are, why do you think they have that authority to do so?
Who's to tell you what color fez, what color tassel you should wear?
Yeah. Only thing the prophet said was, don't mark your fez. Don't put jewels on it like these Masons. That's the only thing he said. And then there's a picture of him wearing a zebra-style fez, black and white. So, like, what? Just like the movie The Last Dragon. I don't get that reference. I don't think I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I think so.
I appreciate all y'all watching. Seriously, it takes a lot of energy to pay attention for this long.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes I feel like I'm yelling and blah 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 blah. I'm just passionate. I'm not speaking out to anyone. Ask anyone that comes to class. Everyone gets treated fairly. Everyone gets loving. I love hugging people.
He wants to hear from you. He wants to hear what you think and what you want to change and what you want to do.
It's just if you come to class and ask and you're fearful, you're going to get a certain reaction out of me because I respond to fear differently because fear spreads and I can't have it spread in me. So when I get presented with that, it's automatic. Like I can't even put it in words. You just have to see it. Remember that one guy who came to class? He was just getting so frustrated in his own fear. I'm like, yo, what are you?
Well, you know what it is too. A lot of the times, when people want to, if they have a certain opinion that is undeveloped, you challenge them on it in a better environment so that they don't walk out the door with a lack of knowledge. So you're giving them all the sources and you're challenging their opinion to force them to grow.
The problem is people don't know that I'm basing what I'm saying off of sources
and fact, and
not
law.
just opinion.
You say it when you're doing it,
but they don't know that they're still arguing their own opinion
because they won't look. They won't look at the book. They won't look at.
Remember the guy who came to class and said, "Look in the book." He said, "No, I've done my own research." So if you've done your own research, you know what I'm saying. So what are we having our conversation for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm out. The egos are on the board. See, if you were really out, you wouldn't have said that. That tells me that your ego's on the board. You could have just left and not said anything. Peace. In the movie Last Dragon, Leroy was going around the city looking for the master, only to come to find out he was the master. Exactly. I have a question about quit rent. So I'm not on my girlfriend's lease for her apartment, but if I nationalize myself and put myself on a lease, can I then do a quit rent? Caveat emptor, do whatever you want. What's up with this banking system? Which banking system? Consular court, LMAO. What are you laughing at? We can talk about the consular court if you want. Read the Constitution. Then read the treaty. Then read what the prophet said about the treaty. Moorish Banking. We talked about that earlier in the video. So once this ends, watch it and you'll see exactly what we talked about.
I'm pretty sure you can rewind it.
As
soon as you start the video, you can rewind it back to the beginning.
Oh yeah, you can. Yep.
You have to be on a computer, I think, though.
Yes.
Nope, I opened it on my phone and it lets me rewind and fast forward.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Cool.
Do you want to end here so we can talk about supplies needed and stuff like that?
So we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. know that everything you do is important. Doesn't matter what it is. You go outside, pick up one thing off the floor, clean up. That's important. You're waking up breathing in the morning. You know you're more. You can tell someone that. That's important. So we appreciate every single one of you, even though we can't, tell you all as individuals personally to your face. If you come to class, then we can. Just know we love you. We don't just do this for ourselves. We understand the importance of everyone. So we greatly appreciate you tuning in, paying attention, patronizing what we do. We even appreciate the dirty Moors because at least you know you're more.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, study, study, study. If you ask me what to study next, I'll say study yourselves. And then you yourself tell you yourself if you can wear black clothes or not someone else. Also, if you ask me where to study, I'll say RiseandMoors.org. If you ask me who to study with, I'll say move out here and study with the Moors. I don't want to sign out.
You have to.
He never does.
We love y'all. Peace.